Hello, gamers, and welcome to episode 10 of Listen Gamer. I am taking over in space of Kev because Kev has decided that he's going to live in the basement for today. And with me today, I have Ryan and Aaron. How are you both?
I'm good, bud. Thanks. Yourself?
Just plodding on.
Just plodding on.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Not long
God.
for the stream, so.
Imagine Kev not turning up.
Shocking behaviour.
I will take the handcuffs off him later.
Do you know the worst part about it? Do you want to know the truth?
He's
out touching grass. Like
as
what?
gamers,
grass
we don't
consent,
do that.
or...
That's what I mean. It's blasphemy. He's outside and touching grass. How dare he? The only grass you should touch should be on Minecraft.
Nah, you can do it on DVD.
I suppose. You got to be wary of the grass in DVD though. There might be a trapper.
Nah, nobody ever puts traps in the grass. What are you on about? Everyone puts them on pallets.
Listen, that's my favourite place to put traps. Random piece of grass in the middle of the road. I'll put it there, and I'll still get annoyed when no one steps in it.
I did earlier and got quite a lot of people with it. It was fucking brilliant.
Random traps are so fun.
I did. I placed it in, not even 5 seconds after Ivan. Kaylee stepped in it.
I think my favourite trap I've ever placed for Trapper was, I was doing it on stream, so this is going back a while ago. And I just placed a trap like next to a loop in the middle of the cone and just went, that'll catch someone later. And I shit you not, it must have been about 15 minutes later. It was the very end of the game. It was the last trap that was even still activated. And they run into it trying to get the save on the last person. It was very satisfying.
I remember having one on Dead Dog. I don't know if you were there for it. I know it's like sort of into the start of when I started streaming. I think it's back on PlayStation. But on Dead Dog, where you've got the gen in the middle of the street, and then there's... If you're looking at the gen from the main building, you've got the left-hand side with all the jungle gyms, the water tower and everything. I had a trap from that gen in the grass just before one of the jungle gyms, but there was no, like... The only way you were hitting that is if you were on a certain side of that gen and were running straight at the pallet. It got someone, the dude DC'd and came into the chat, like, raging and flaming, saying how much of a noob killer I am, that such a shit trap got them. And I'm like, if you go back and listen, you'll hear me say the words, that is only catching one specific person, and it's whoever's running from this gen to that pallet, and it worked. And he was so fucking mad.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Unfortunately, clip pods don't save chat, which is the worst thing, so I would love to have kept that.
Oh, I know. It's devastating. That's one thing they need to do, is allow the option for you to be able to save the chat along.
Oh, yeah. Or at least have it if the clip's being made, you can have it where chat just appears like it does for some people's, where it's just like overlay or whatever.
Yeah.
That'll be nice.
So I know we've had some updates on the new Pokemon games coming out. I haven't had a chance to catch up with them, but obviously Mr. Indominus Ash is Ash Ketchum incarnate, so...
I don't know what the fuck you're on about. Well, we got a new Pokemon announced, which is... I don't want to butcher the name, so I'll make sure I don't get it wrong. Cyclizar? Or Cyclizar, however you pronounce it.
You've butchered it already, well done.
Probably. But it's a dragon normal type. And they've kind of gone with the same logic as, like, Caradon or Maradon, however you are, like, they're all bicycles.
Okay.
That seems to be kind of the design format for the new Pokemon. And supposedly we already know its ability as well, which is quite early down.
Yeah. Is that like just a normal like basic Pokemon you can go and catch, or is it like another legendary? Or
I don't think we actually know. The details of it say it's lived in households since ancient times.
So it wouldn't be legendary.
And it can sprint over 120 kilometers an hour while carrying a human.
Damn,
so I don't think it's a legend by any means. So I think it is just something you can go and catch. With the typing being dragon normal, it's a bit shit for a legend.
Yeah.
Because then that's not like fantastic typing, but...
Yeah, but even like there's quite a few legends that are pretty shit really.
Yeah, but the abilities kind of make up for it, and its ability is not great.
I suppose it's the difference between like legendaries and mythicals and stuff then, isn't it? Like,
well, mythicals tend to have like base stats. Like they always have like, so for like Mew, Celebi, possibly even Jirachi and Manaphy and all them, they always had like base 100 stats. That tended to be kind of the logic that most mythicals went along, whereas legends obviously have like specific sets or something stupidly high, like with Kieran White or whatever, the special attack's stupidly sky high. So that kind of what makes them stronger.
Yeah.
Where some of the lesser legends are a bit... They still have niches, but not as strong. But yeah, I think it's just something we can go and catch standard. Obviously, I know no more than what you do.
That's pretty cool. So I'm wondering, see, because obviously the legendaries, they, from what they've shown us, you more or less start with them. So I'm curious.
With the release of this one, maybe as we start with him and then we get one of the legends later down the line.
Possibly.
Because yeah, the design's very, very similar. I don't know if you've seen the design, Aaron, or not.
I have not, no.
I can post a clip. Post an image in chat. Because you've seen the other legends, haven't you?
Yes, I do believe.
So if I go and get... Just so you can see what I'm on about. So this is Cyclizar when it sends. So you see it's very, very similar.
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
Like, even the stance is almost identical to what Koraidon's is on his image.
Do you think he's going to be a bike as well? Or
it says he is.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not sure. They could go. It could even be that it's similar to how Cosmog worked in Sun and Moon, where you evolve it into one or the other.
Yeah, I was just thinking that could it go to one or the other depending on like what you choose to evolve it to, or if like depending on what game you own.
Yeah, it's very possible. Obviously, we'll know more when the date comes closer.
I just found it really interesting that like the way they implied it was that you would start with the 2 box legendaries or one of the 2 box legendaries, and it was just like, surely there's got to be some sort of legendary or some other Pokemon that they haven't revealed yet that'll be like at the end.
Oh, there will be 1,000%. I mean, Sun and Moon had Necrozma, pretty sure. Or was that the game before?
Yeah, that was Necrozma, yeah, Sun and Moon.
I'm trying to think if Sword and Shield had anyone. Yes, Eternatus.
Eternatus, yeah.
So yeah, we'll probably end up seeing somebody else in the mix.
Yeah.
Because otherwise they've just kind of blown the load by releasing both the box legends and then nothing more.
Be curious.
Well, I don't think that green dragon one is legendary, is it? Pseudo, I think it is.
It could be a pseudo. I don't know if they've actually announced anything on exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Its design's very, very similar to the other two. But no, there's nothing saying it's legend or pseudo.
Because like most when you get like triple legendaries, it's sort of like they sort of tend to like counteract each other, sort of thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
So like, what sort of counteracts the bike? Is like the middle legendary going to be like a quad or something?
That might be thinking a little bit too deep into it.
Probably. It'd be quite interesting. It
could be a unicycle.
A fucking car or something.
They did release more information as well on the terrestrialization as well.
Yeah.
So the example they gave, obviously this is spoilers for anyone who hasn't already seen it. There was a Tyranitar against a Gallade. So obviously Tyranitar being 4 times weak to fighting, it terrestrialized into a ghost type, avoided the close combat or whatever move that the Gallade used, hit it back with its terrestrialized attacks. Obviously that's powered by the typing it is and makes it stronger. And with it being ghost type, Gallade's weak to ghost, and it just turned around and one-shot the Gallade. So it totally reversed its weakness and turned it into a strength, which is really, really cool.
Well, isn't there a different version of Tyranitar in this game? And Salamence, I do believe. Ancient Tyranitar and Ancient Salamence.
I haven't seen anything on that, but it's quite possible.
That's Ancient what I've seen. Yeah, each game has got one of the pseudo legendaries.
That's pretty cool, man.
One Salamence, I think it's Scarlet that's got Salamence and Violet that's got Tyranitar, but they're ancient versions of themselves. So
That's pretty
whatever
cool.
that
So
means, or however that changes them, I have no idea.
I imagine it'd be a bit
I
like
am.
Primal Groudon, isn't it?
That'd be strong to release it for something like that. I don't think it'll be anything like that.
No, but like a
Uh,
similar design sort of thing with like the tribal outlines, bit more wild looking.
I haven't seen anything on that.
Hmm. Very curious.
Hang on a minute. It's Paldean region, isn't it?
It's very curious.
Be cool if they are doing something like that.
Yeah.
I do
I
trust
mean,
that
they
Aaron's
said
probably
they
right.
are. I did see it on the stuff that's come out for it at the moment.
There is actually a Pokemon card of Ancient Salaman.
I was trying to find something on Cerebi because that's where I got all my information from, but I can't see anything, which is very weird for Cerebi.
Research per later.
I'll probably research it as we keep going, to be fair, because I want to see that.
Yeah, it'd be quite interesting because well, I suppose they only really like release new forms, but like they do like terastallizing Mega Gigantamax. I don't know if they do two in the one game. Maybe interesting.
Well, I thought it might be like a form, but it doesn't seem to be a new Paldean form because it's only Wooper that's on that list at the moment.
Would it be like a
Oh,
held
hang on.
item?
Okay,
Oh,
so
actually,
it's ancient Tyranitar and future Salamence, not ancient
yeah,
Salamence.
that might be why I couldn't find Salamence then. So I have just found the Paldea Pokedex.
Yeah, they're Paradox Pokemon.
That's interesting. I've got to be fair to Pokemon. For the amount of years that they've been doing it, they do come up with some really interesting concepts. Like some fall flat on their face, like having like fucking Klefki.
They are also, well, I guess they kind of needed to release Sableye with the game that has gems as part of the evolutions.
Oh, definitely.
So I definitely saw that coming. So Ancient Tyranitar. There's still nothing on it. Give me a second. But yeah, it does look like the I don't know, last time we spoke.
I've got it all here. So ancient species are going to be Jigglypuff, Amoonguss, Misdreavus, Volcarona, and I think Tyranitar. It might be Tyranitar or Salamence that's ancient, and then future species is Delibird, Gallade, a Gen 5 bug Pokemon.
Okay.
Wooper's getting a regional. Taurus is getting a regional.
Have you got a link for that?
Apparently, new evolutions are Primeape, Wooper, Murkrow, Dunsparce, Girafarig, and Pawniard.
I'm very interested in that.
Pawniard? Pawniard already has an evolution.
I have no idea.
An alternate.
Unless they're going another way with it, yeah, because they did Cleaver, didn't they, instead of Scizor? Cheers.
Dun, 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 dun.
Leaks. We do love leaks.
Why hasn't Tauros been announced as a new regional form already?
Not entirely sure. I mean, I suppose they'll keep some stuff back for closer to the release, and then they'll just do another whatever. I don't know.
Delibird.
Have they ever done anything with Taurus before?
No. Aside from making him rideable in Sun and Moon.
Yeah, but he's always just been like a non-evolution normal type.
Yeah.
It's quite disappointing considering like he's quite an iconic Pokemon from Gen 1, really.
He is, yeah. But then they brought out Pokemon similar to him, like Bufalon as well.
Yeah.
It's
It was just Tauros on steroids, really, wasn't it? No, I'm very excited for the Pokemon game.
Oh yeah, it's going to be fantastic.
I still haven't finished Brilliant Diamond yet, but we won't go into that.
I was meant to start it, but that went down the drain, unfortunately.
I kind of wish I'd waited and got Legends of Arceus instead, but
Arceus Legends was good.
yeah. No, it looks interesting. The one thing I've always been surprised with Pokemon have never introduced like a hard mode that you could just turn on.
Yeah. Well,
'Cause-
to be fair, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon were harder versions of Sun and Moon.
yeah. But it's
Were
I think
they
that's
though,
the
really?
closest they've ever come. They were supposed to be.
Let's be honest, were they?
I mean, they were harder than the standard games. Like, they definitely tried to ramp up the difficulty a bit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's just interesting to me that like a lot of the Pokemon content that you would watch on YouTube is like people making the game harder for themselves to
Mhm.
play. And you'd think that'd be something they would incorporate into a selling point.
The thing is, though, Pokemon is and always will be a children's game.
Yeah.
So
It's
they're
just the
always
fact-
going to go for that market over
Mm.
the older generation that have grown up with it.
Yeah.
To make harder games.
That's the thing. You could cater to two of them by having that harder mode. So you can just feel there's the base game, which is aimed at kids. If you want to play the harder version, you turn on hard mode, and like gym leaders have competitive teams for their typings, and
Yeah.
or even like a Nuzlocke mode where you're forced to play the Nuzlocke rules.
Could be interesting for sure.
Yeah. That's just me. Because I know I'd love to play like in a Nuzlocke style. But then if I lose a Pokemon that I really don't want to lose, I'm like, oh, I'm done with this now. I'll just carry on playing this
Yeah.
game.
I could definitely see you quitting if you'd lost it to a crit or something.
This one is one of my favorite clips ever, and the guy's got a Dialga. He just about lives a Dragon Rage and kills the other Pokemon. And while he's like celebrating it, a fucking Rattata comes in and quick attacks his Dialga and fucking kills it. He's just utter devastation.
Oh, we had. I feel bad because I never let them live it down. Chase has been like at my throat over it before, but we there was one of my friends that used to stream. It was Chase's sibling,
Yeah.
and they were doing a Nuzlocke. I want to see if I can find exactly what it was, real quick. Do we know what the Pokemon was or not? Basically, they had a really good Mon.
Yeah.
And me being competitive, I was in the stream, and they were like constantly asking me to do like, is this Mon gonna die if I do this, or if it has this move? Because the abilities were all mixed up. And I
Yeah.
remember it being a fighting type or something against a ghost type, or what I think it was a Chandelure, is what they were against. But I can't remember what Mon they had, but I know it was a fighting type. And I said, it can't kill you unless it has Scrappy and smacks you with whatever. Obviously, being with randomized, the chances of actually having Scrappy were like 1 in 164 something.
Mm.
And the move that it had was Cross Chop, which I think isn't 100% accurate in its own. And on top of that, they got a crit. So it ended up being a Scrappy Cross Chop crit that killed them on in a Nuzlocke.
Oh my god.
And I turned around and went, technically, I predicted that because I said if it has Scrappy, it's killing you. And I've never let them live it down to this day.
Oh, that's brilliant.
I'm annoyed I can't remember what Mon it was, though. I know it was a Chandelure they were against, or something.
Yeah.
Or they had a Chandelure and they were against a fighting type. I can't remember. But yeah, it was so fucking good. But yeah, I'd love to get into like randomizers and Nuzlocks and things. They look like a lot of fun.
Yeah. The ones I used to watch, they used to do cage locks, which was you would verse each other going through the games. But
Yeah.
for every gym battle, you would have to then face each other in a 1v1. and whoever's mon won got like a perk, and the other mon would die and be lost to the Nuzlocke rules.
Mhm.
And then
That's pretty
obviously
cool.
you get a point for winning for each gym. Then, so like you could, if you won the first 6 gyms in a row, you basically win because there's no chance of them catching you out and stuff like that. They were really cool. It's like sometimes watching, like, do you risk your really good mon to like try and guarantee a win, knowing that they've got a mon that counters your really good mon, so then you throw a shit mon in just in case. Or
Yeah.
I think like one of them, he had a really good mon, but he could, if he lost the mon, he was in danger of losing the Nuzlocke as a whole because the rest of his team wasn't up to scratch. So he
Yeah.
had to use something else instead and try and pull someone out of his ass to win. They were always interesting. And you do it then, you go through the Elite Four, and then you fight each other with whatever teams you get left over for like 3 points. So you're trying to get through the Elite Four then without losing a single Pokemon as well.
Yeah, I find that'd be quite annoying as well, especially if they're randomized and you have no idea what they've got.
Not a clue. And there's normal randomizers where it's just like their type-ins and move set. Then you can add abilities into that and
Yeah.
fucking also.
Idea for the future, Links.
What?
I said idea for the future.
What of the Nuzlocke and stuff?
The cage lock, aye.
Ugh. I've never really liked playing Pokemon that way. Like, I just see kind of Pokemon as, I just like to go do the story. I think the best kind of iteration they've done of Pokemon that's been my favorite so far is Sun and Moon. Just because it, for me, and how I play with it and how I, play Pokemon in general, that had so much, I guess, replayability for me.
Mhm.
But otherwise, like, I'm very basic when it comes to playing Pokemon games. I don't know.
I still would like to go back every now and again to Gen 1 and try and move the truck
Boulder.
with the truck with strength.
Oh, I did that.
I tried it a lot when I was younger from different angles and using different Pokemon and pretty much everything you can think of. And I feel like one of these days, like I'm gonna turn a certain age, and that's gonna unlock the power to move the truck with strength.
It's all right. You only get a Mew for it. It's fine.
Alternatively, you buy a game shot and just get the Mew anyway.
Yeah.
Have you seen like the steps to the glitch to get Mew without like a game shot?
Isn't it on Gold Nugget Bridge or something? You have to do like be really specific.
It's ridiculous. So there's a certain trainer on your way to Bills that you can't fight. You have to fight him at a specific time. You've got to have the right mon at the right level. Use the glitch where you like fly away from an area as you initiate a battle with a trainer. You've got to fight a certain person, then fly to another place. It's fucking nuts. There's like 20 steps, and then you walk onto Nugget Bridge again, and Mew appears.
I remember that being a thing.
It was brilliant, but at the same time, it was like, wouldn't it be really funny if they put it in and the Mew had teleports, so you literally could just get there, and you would either catch it in the first ball or it would teleport away, and you just
The Mew had either teleport or metronome and would always get self-destruct after like 5 metronomes or something.
Yeah, just a proper troll. Is the one thing I think they always missed out on with like Red and Blue remakes is being able to use strength on that truck. Like if they'd have put that in a future game and like stairs appeared and you just went down, the whole world would have gone nuts.
I don't know. Pokemon's been pretty trolly in the past.
For me though, like that for the people that like Pokemon who do sort of like a little bit of trolling from time to time, it was like, can you imagine like just moving it and you like go down and there's a Pokeball at the bottom of the stairs in like this solitary room and it's just like Mew's DNA, just like the most worthless item you can have. Can't do anything with it whatsoever. That's just me growing up on Pokemon and fucking all the old glitches and rumors.
Yeah.
I do prefer the old. I think I enjoyed Pokemon more when I was a kid, just because, like, I'm not gonna toot my own horn. I'm an adult now, and like stuff like Pokemon and like the way you play it and stuff like that, it just feels too easy. But then at the same time, I still feel like they pander to the kids a lot
Yeah.
more, which just in turn makes it a lot more easier in general.
Well, you only have to look at the anime now. Have you seen what Ash looks like now?
Yeah,
It's all
He
like
looks
he's
fucking ridiculous.
It's like he's de-aged.
Yeah.
Like he's just got younger.
He's now an 8-year-old.
He's got younger and has gone in like some sort of weird anime. What's the word? Multiverse or something. It just doesn't look right.
It's one of my.
It was bad enough in Sun and Moon.
It's one of my favorite Pokemon memes now, and like Ash Ketchum, the 10-year-old with 20 years worth of experience, exactly what every job interviewer is looking for.
Yeah. But I do get what you mean. Like back in when the games first got released, they felt. I don't know if it was like more. You were more into it. Like it would sort of pull you in a little bit more, like the old games like Red and Blue or Ruby and Sapphire, whatever they were. Whereas nowadays, I don't feel like they pull you in as much as they used to.
It's just like you sort of get like spoon-fed.
Mm.
Like even down to like when Diamond and Pearl come out, and it's the ice gym with the ice puzzle, and it's like you can get it wrong, and you've just got to fight other trainers, but eventually you can just brute force your way through eventually and just go to the gym leader. But like Red and Blue, if that was a Red and Blue puzzle, you would be stuck on that game until you figured out the pattern.
I remember everyone getting stuck on what's it? It's Lieutenant Surge with the bins. You had to go through the bins, not for the switches.
Yeah.
Oh no, that was easy.
Once you knew the secret, it was easy.
Well, when you knew the secret, yeah, but like as someone that didn't know, like as a kid, and you had no idea what was going on, you were just searching every single bin.
Yeah.
And you'd always go back to the same bin more than once because you thought you hadn't done it already.
Yeah.
Just to like annoy you. But
Definitely.
yeah, I miss the old stuff. I think as well back in when the games first got released, there wasn't as much coverage on them back then either. So there were a lot more surprises for you when you played the game. Whereas nowadays, when a game gets released, you already know a good percentage of what's in the game before you buy it. Which I don't think helps.
That's what I mean about like having like different modes for Pokemon. Because I understand their whole like obviously pander to the kid. Because people like us will play the games and buy the shit still, regardless, because it's nostalgia and we love it. So the more they pander to the kids, the bigger audience, they're just gonna keep growing it and growing it and growing it. But like the Pokemon games where I can't remember which ones it was, but they brought it in where you could go up to the gym and it would be like, this is the grass gym. Grass is weak to such and such and such and such. It's like, oh come on. Let me go in and get my ass kicked and then figure it out and fucking go and catch the Pokemon I need and shit like that. And it was like, it's just spoon fed in the end. Like getting through fucking Rock Tunnel on Gen 1.
It's the one thing again, like what I'm going back to with Ultra and Ultramoon when I said it was a little bit harder. Because it was never covered, I don't think, on anything. When Ultra Necrozma came out, nobody expected it because they never once hinted at it. The fact that it had all the stat boosts, it was +1 in everything. The typing on it was fantastic. The amount of teams that it just wiped because nobody knew what to do and nobody knew it was coming. It felt like being a kid again and not knowing anything about the game. That's what it kind of felt like for me. Obviously, once you figured out what typings it had and the stat boost that it had, it was piss easy. Yeah. But that moment where it just appeared and you weren't expecting it, that's the sort of stuff that I used to live for Pokemon.
Yeah, it was the whole point of the games is to figure it out. Otherwise, you're just going through it and brute forcing your way through part of it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I just wish like one gen or like the next iteration of games, I just wish they'd do one that kind of panders to the older demographic.
Yeah, it would be
because obviously
nice.
we grew up with Pokemon. Pokemon was kind of our thing, and it's like I don't blame it for sticking to kids and pandering to kids and that because Pokemon, that's what it is. But I do wish they would at least once just do a game that is aimed at the adults or the 1990s kids. Just once.
Yeah, it would be nice. Like, just to have some sort of recognition that we haven't forgotten that you've sort of grown up with this kind of thing.
Yeah.
But no, that would be really nice if they did that at some point.
I mean, it's wishful thinking, but you know.
Oh, it's very wishful thinking. It's never happening.
No, it's
but I'd
never
love to see it. It'll be like the day before we die. It'll come out and be like, "Yes, it's finally here," and then that'll be your final words.
Yeah.
I will engrave it on my tombstone.
It is.
No, it'll be
that's
interesting to see where the future goes with it, though.
Yeah. I think there'll come a point where they have to sort of cater to the older generation as well. Because sort of as it goes on, there is like a select amount of people of the older generation that are like, we need these games to be the way they used to be and more and harder and bring back the way they used to feel. And the more they cater to the kids, the more adults are just going to be getting to that point where they want the same thing. So that voice will
Yeah.
just grow louder and louder.
Oh, without a doubt. Like, most of the people that play the game, I feel, are the ones that grew up with it.
Mm.
Like, most of the people that stream it are, what, in their 20s, 30s?
Yep.
Or, like,
Oh, yeah.
YouTube videos or whatever it is. It's people that have grown up with it, not people that are brand new to it.
This times changed, didn't they?
Yeah, unfortunate.
I I actually received for my birthday some Pokemon cards from my little sister, and it was the best gift I've had because it's got a shiny Growlithe, and I know they're from McDonald's Happy Meals, but it doesn't matter because I've got a shiny Growlithe. It's literally so sad. My dad bought me like cans of Copperberg and chocolates and stuff, and I just sat there looking at my Pokemon cards. I'm 29 years old. But that's the life we live. The other thing that's been going on, so obviously growing up back in the day with where Pokemon was, and then you had like your Call of Duty lobbies, and now you have your whole toxic gameplays and the whole GG Easies and stuff. So I know Overwatch brought out a thing to help deal with toxic comments like GG Easy, where if you type it in now, it'll bring up different words to what instead of the GG Easy, which I think is an absolute brilliant idea. Have you guys seen much about that at all?
I've seen it. I was only made aware of it the other day. But I'm not an Overwatch player, so I didn't know anything about it. But I wish they'd bring it out for like Dead by Daylight and stuff like that.
I think it'd be brilliant. Like, it's such a fun and interesting way to like deal with toxic behavior, and like people try and get around it in different ways and whatnot. But like, I think for some of my funniest was to it replies instead of GG Easy, to change your words to I feel very small, very very small. Please hold me.
I do think it's a fucking brilliant idea.
Every game needs something like that.
I do have a proposition to make though.
Yeah.
How would you feel if we took those handcuffs off?
What handcuff?
Well, a certain someone's just got home.
Hey.
We could always slide them in. As long as he stopped touching grass.
I see some stuff on Twitter, man. I see some stuff. I see some stuff.
What stuff have you seen on Twitter?
Well, I was just scrolling down and oh my god.
Yeah? Images?
Is this to do with what? I don't want to speak his name.
No. So there's a girl streamer, a female streamer, and well, the caption to this post is basically, if you're going to try and bang while streaming, make sure there isn't a reflection.
What?
You are.
You heard it right. You heard it right. If you're going to try and bang while streaming, make sure there isn't a reflection.
Or just don't bang on stream.
Well, yeah, you'd think that's an obvious thing to do, but yeah, no.
No, just make sure there's no reflections.
I'm gonna put it in the
I just what? Yeah. I don't know. The streamer in question is now banned. No fucking shit, Sherlock.
Yeah.
I don't understand. You can see him.
Yeah.
He never mind the reflection. You can fucking see him stood behind her.
Yeah.
I'm like, the thing is, I guarantee you, right, he's the type of person that would go back and brag to his friends about doing that. At the same time, I'd be like, listen, you're clearly doing something wrong if she can still live stream whilst you're getting your end away.
Speaking of, well, not more of banking, but speaking more of streaming and Twitch, I don't know if you guys follow an insider called Zach Boosie.
No.
But I follow him and keep on top of all the like changes and stuff that's come into Twitch.
Yeah.
They're definitely they've got some interesting changes coming.
Okay.
Quite useful to a lot of us as well. There's a new shout out feature coming.
Okay.
So we won't have to use like the exclamation mark shout out or anything like that. They've
that's
actually
just
got
going to be
their
a base
own
thing now.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It puts the actual account in the chat as well, so you can follow it from your chat.
Oh, so they don't even have to like leave your chat to go over and like, follow and come back.
Yeah.
That's really
It also puts in the schedule. If you have a schedule on Twitch, which in the schedule section, it puts their next scheduled stream with a little remind me button on as well.
That's pretty fucking cool, to be fair.
Yeah, it is.
You see, I think Twitch are heading in the right direction, and in all honesty, the fact that people are leaving to go to YouTube just is a good thing, because it's just going to push Twitch to have to do more.
Well, Twitch, it's like all the big, like the insider people that know what Twitch is doing and everything. It's what they've all said. They have mentioned that Twitch is swapping to a service, I think service-based. Service-based like site, not necessarily a platform.
Yeah.
Like they obviously put in the whole charity stuff as well. Like there's a charity feature, so you don't have to go outside of Twitch for like stuff on charities. Like they've got their own donation thing and fundraiser like section.
Yeah, I did see that today. It's actually really, because before you had to like set it all up, didn't you, and go through like various websites to get links and whatnot. Whereas now it's all just through Twitch.
Yes. They've part of that feature is they've got automatically, if you click it, you can see all the charities that are included. So you can just click it and go. Easy. You can also choose the amount you want to from $1, $5, $15, $25, $50, custom amount, and it'll automatically just go to the charity. And Twitch doesn't take a cut, which is nice as well.
Oh my
I
god.
wouldn't imagine they would anyway, but
No.
and then another good thing, Twitch will be making, like the stream summaries and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's going to be available on mobile now as well, so we can see everything. And like another thing, Twitch will be doing a cosmetic update to channel analytics, moving 3 pages to 6. So where you see in your creator dashboard where there's insights, community content, settings, viewer rewards, all that jazz.
Yeah.
It's moving to insights, which is semi, like you'll still have stream summary and achievements, but you get, this time it's overview, and then it's split into different parts where you can see your revenue and analytics straight away, like just click it, or like your viewership. And there's a new discovery and engagement section as well, so you can improve your kind of, see where you might be thriving and then improve on it and stuff like that. So
See
they're
where
very
people
much
are coming from.
Yeah, they're very much moving to a service kind of thing instead of a platform per se. But
I
it
suppose
all looks pretty positive.
see, giving tools like that, like gives them more of a right towards the take that they take from subs. Like I know it's still a bit. I don't agree with it being 50-50, but the more service aspect they bring to it, and the easier they make it for you to operate it as a business, then it's more justified, I would say.
Yeah, it's like Zach said, Twitch is a service, it is not a platform. We will continue to see service moves as it moves away from any platform functions.
Yeah.
No, I can see it as a very positive thing.
Yeah.
But it's like Zach has said as well, like the positive moves probably won't last long. There will be some moves that don't necessarily, or aren't necessarily positive for streamers or content creators and stuff like that.
It'd be interesting because, from what I understand, I don't know whether that is true or not, but Twitch don't make a lot.
No, they do not make a profit.
Yeah. So
Twitch
it is
consistently makes a loss. So I can see them making moves where they try and turn it into a plus.
Yeah.
Or a profit. I can see where they're going with it, but how long will these good necessarily good changes for streamers, like this all helps streamers very much so, but
The thing is, like, it's what they need to realize as a platform, or as whatever they want to be calling themselves, is the more tools that they give streamers to be successful, the more money streamers will make for them to be able to turn a profit.
Yeah.
in a sense, yes. I do think, because obviously a lot of these moves were leaked like months ago. There is a couple of bad ones to come where partners will no longer make 70-30 on their subs.
Yeah.
And everything will be going down to 50-50. So I can see that contributing to a profit for Twitch. I mean, it's like, I don't disagree with them. They do need to make a profit. They're a company at the end of the day. And as long as they stay in business, we stay in business. But they have to keep making moves that doesn't make YouTube the more
attractive option.
attractive option. Yeah, that's what I was
I
going for.
see where you're trying to go with it.
Yeah.
See, the thing I feel like is that YouTube is the way it is, and it makes that money from ad revenue so much more than anything else.
That's because it's YouTube, though.
But
I mean,
Twitch,
YouTube
like,
have been dominating
yeah,
the whole content creation um, side of it, kind of a
mhm,
lot more for a lot longer.
yeah. But that's the issue with this. Like, if advertisements were used in such a way to generate profit for both sides at a more beneficial rate, then that could be something that would be more enticing for both sides.
Because it's like it's not like I've considered like YouTube and stuff going forwards. I mean, it's only like I don't want to, and I probably won't, to be honest with you. But um, the more I do think YouTube will eventually be a thing for the majority of Twitch creators.
YouTube
Maybe
is vastly catching up.
I wouldn't say vastly, but they are quickly.
They,
I,
they've
I
they've brought in memberships, which is effectively subscriptions.
Yeah.
They've recently brought in gifted memberships, which is effectively gifted subs. One of the
Mhm.
main things they track behind at the moment is the ability to have the emotes and badges.
I think the only reason that YouTube's done so well with it is because YouTube's obviously a much bigger and much more popular platform as it is anyway.
Mm.
But I still think that Twitch has more of a personal touch to it than what YouTube will ever have.
Well,
If it,
YouTube has always been that kind of place for streaming. That's what the whole kind of site is based its whole existence on.
it is, but when you go into any like live YouTube video, the majority of messages get missed. That's either because obviously they're really, really big, or just because the chat's going so fast, or whatever. Whereas Twitch, it feels like you're engaging with whoever's streaming a lot more than what you could on YouTube. I don't know if that's just me, but that's sort of how I view it. Like YouTube's obviously bigger, better, like whatever, but
But
for
it's the
like
whole
one
thing
on
of Google
Twitch,
versus Amazon, isn't it?
it is basically, yeah.
I think the way it is at the moment is once you create a certain size platform on YouTube, it would be more beneficial for you to stream on YouTube than it would on Twitch.
Mhm.
I don't necessarily think that's the case though. I don't know. Like there's
No,
the
I'm,
whole
I
vastly different cultures of each site, let's say. People go to YouTube to watch like here's a good example, right? People are like people who watch YouTube videos or YouTube in general. It's the same with the ad system. Nobody likes ads on Twitch. Nobody. But it's a vastly different culture over on YouTube because ads have always been a part of it.
yeah.
And you can skip them, which is nice. But on Twitch you can't skip them. It's behind a paywall basically,
Mm.
where you have to sub or otherwise you will get an ad, an unskippable ad. Let me
Yeah.
add that in. Ad.
I think the conception around ads on Twitch also sucks because people know that in the past you can turn ads off. So everyone sort of thinks that if they go into your stream and they get an ad is because you've turned ads on, and it's like, no, Twitch is at a point now where it forces you if you're not subbed.
Yeah, because there's the whole pre-rolls, which pre-roll has always been a thing.
Yeah.
It's like in my side of things and how I do streaming, I have that one pre-roll and then don't have any more ads in.
Mm.
But I don't think I'll ever change from that. Like if I ever do make partner, I don't know if you're required in your partner contract and whatnot that you have to play ads.
Mm.
But I guess that's just a thing I'm gonna have to.
Well, that's the thing is they released about the ads being changed where you could have the ads, and if you played X amount of ads over X amount of times, which you could schedule to be at certain times, that you would get like that set income,
Yeah,
which
that's the ad incentive thing, which is only available for partners at the moment.
yeah. But if that comes to affiliate, like in all honesty, personally myself, I would quite happily sit through the ads on that person, knowing that they were doing what they needed to do in order to run their business effectively.
Now,
Like,
see, I would sit through the ads, but I wouldn't approve of it just because it's just a kind of streamer to streamer thing.
yeah,
Because while I am technically a viewer of Twitch as well,
Yeah.
my main thing of Twitch is me being part of the system, part of the community as a streamer.
Yeah.
And while I don't necessarily agree with ads and I don't think anyone should run them,
Mm.
obviously, you know,
That's the
that
thing is, like, ads at the moment for those people, it's like you get a couple of pence out of that. Like, your interaction with that person is vastly more valuable than that couple of pence that you get from that advert.
exactly.
If you would have a streamer like yourself, say, to go, listen, I have ads enabled, is a 1 minute ad on the hour and a half hour just to cover the contract to be able to get the ad incentive. That allows me to put £300 a month back into streaming every month, whether that be for giveaways, to give away some gifted subs on a particular day, like reinvesting it in your
Well,
business.
I think what the kind of with partner, if you're already a partner, you don't necessarily have to grow anymore.
Yeah.
Like, it's always nice to continue growing from partner anyway, but you're always going to get those ones that come in and you're more likely to grow anyway.
Yeah,
But
you're
as an
growing.
affiliate, you've got to kind of take a more
Yeah.
a better look at it, because ads stop your growth. It's obvious.
Yeah.
And
It'd be interesting to see the mentality change between it. Like, to see a streamer run ads and then using that money to reinvest in their stream to make their streams better, to me would be a lot more. I'd
well,
I'd rather
it's
see
kind of a
that.
weird one, because like, if your partner and you have a good viewer to sub ratio, the majority of people are not going to see the ad anyway. It's just for people who aren't subbed. So
Yeah.
really, what's the point in
But
running those ads?
because not only are you then hitting your ad incentive to make that money, you're also encouraging people that do want to stay around in your stream to sub.
Mm, I don't know.
I get
It
what you
gives
mean.
me a
It sucks, but like, from a business point of view of it, it does make sense to be able to have those things on.
yeah.
It would be what you do with the money that you are earning that would be advantageous to your growth, I would say. Like, if
I
you were to
think at the
say,
moment, I'm taking a very broad affiliate outlook on it,
yeah,
because obviously I'm an affiliate. I want to grow consistently. So, like, my mindset will always be against ads,
yeah,
but I haven't had the chance yet to take a partner's mindset on it.
yeah. It would
So I
be like,
think
sort
that,
of, if you were to imagine, like, your growth as it is at the moment is just your organic growth. It's based on who you come across, who joins the stream, and who likes your vibe. But
mm,
like, if you were to say, okay, I'm using the ad incentive, I get an extra £300 a month from that ad incentive from playing 2 minutes of ad throughout my streaming, my typical streaming video schedule. So it'd be 2 minutes of ads every hour. So you do a minute on the hour, a minute at the half hour, which 9 times out of 10 with Dead by Daylight or something like that, that's pretty much just going to be in between games where not a lot's happening anyway.
see, you'd think that's a lot for the ad incentive, but from like when it first came out and I seen all the offers that different partners were getting,
Yeah,
£300 is more of the lower end of the high tier.
yeah,
So high tier, for example, like let's say maybe Ludwig, although Ludwig I think would probably get a bit more at the lower end.
mm,
But to get to that, you've got to have a bigger, like, quite a big audience. Like, I think the biggest I've seen is £1,800 at the high end,
but
because
that was
obviously
the thing,
you
though.
get three options.
Yeah,
You get the lower end, the mid end, and then the high end.
yeah,
But obviously that varies from like a minute an hour of ads, or like 3 minutes at the higher tier, for example, or 7 minutes I've seen actually. Like 7 minutes an hour.
Yeah,
That's
it's ridiculous. I
really,
wouldn't even agree with that at all.
yeah.
But like, it's just sort of a case of if it if the offers were staying at where I sort of seen them, where it was like that sort of £200 to £300 for the minute or two of ads over a 4 hour stream, um, essentially, like, say you get that £300, you can then turn around and be like, right, I've got £300, £250, and that is being invested in the stream, whether that be buying a cosplay, buying a new game to play on stream, um, investing in upgrading equipment, etc. And then that £50, I'm gonna do a giveaway, so it goes back to the viewers.
Mm.
And then all
Don't
of a
know.
sudden,
Like,
everyone's like, I want to be around for that stream.
I don't know. It's just my mindset. I don't think that's worth it. I just don't. But then I've got a very growth kind of mindset to it, so that's why I don't think it's worth it.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see the differences in growth, whether you would grow the same or faster or slower.
You would grow probably slower. It's just the way Twitch is and the viewers are of Twitch. No one likes ads.
Mm.
No one. And I've seen it in multiple people's chats. When they run ads, they lose viewers.
Definitely something interesting. Like I know it's annoying more so like when you go into a stream and it plays that pre-roll ad, which that get if you to use the ad incentive and have them at certain times, you lose that pre-roll ad.
It's like not long, like in the kind of same thing. Not long ago when someone did raid me.
Mm.
And obviously then it's always nice to go back on the VODs and, see if they say like nice things and that,
Yeah.
and what their opinions of you like might be as a streamer.
Mm.
It's like a while ago, someone raided me, and I went back and looked on the VOD, and they got the pre-roll ad for coming into my channel, and
Yeah.
it was an instant turn off for them.
Mm.
And it very much showed, because like they were like, "Ooh, an ad,"
Mm.
and it almost made them not raid me, but the chat were really nice about it, and they
Yeah.
still raided me.
That's what I mean. That's the difficult part about it. Like if you were to see that stream now, and in your thing you say like I'm part of the ad incentive. I roll ads 1 minute of ads on the hour and on the half hour for the stream. People know when those ads are going to come in and when they're going to be gone and what's going on. It's not just a random ad in the middle of a match or something,
Yeah, it's
or
like
as a
I
group of
think
raiders come in and half of them are getting the pre-roll ads.
I think the crappy thing about it is, even, yeah, running those ads does stop pre-rolls and stuff like that. But the crappy thing is it only stops them for 30 minutes.
Mm.
Whereas I think if you were running ads, like say for example you were running 3 minutes of ads, which takes away half an hour, running like a minute of an ad,
Mm.
and it takes away I think 21 minutes, because I usually run them at the start of my stream, so pre-rolls are like deactivated for however long.
Yeah.
Um, I think if you were going to run ads like that, I think they should give them like. I think the ad shouldn't run. No pre-roll ad should run for the entirety
Yeah,
of.
if you've got a consistent ad schedule, you should never have pre-rolls.
Yeah, that's what I'm going for. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's not like that. So you could run 3 minutes of ads, have the half an hour deactivation of pre-rolls, and then
Mm.
suddenly ads are coming up again for people who are joining. That's not necessarily positive.
No.
That's
And you
just,
just it's ads all over the place and yeah, no.
yeah. It's
It's
more or less forcing ads on us, no matter
yeah.
what we do, even though we are trying to not necessarily help Twitch, but we are trying to help ourselves in a sense, whether it be with money or just so new people don't get ads in general.
Mm.
I think we should at least be a little more rewarded for it. Not necessarily money wise, but at least give us the like no pre-rolls whatsoever as long as we're running scheduled ads.
It could be interesting. It'd be. I think they like things might change with that, and they might be open to suggestions and feedback of it. It seems to be that they are trying to put that into a bit more of a service, knowing that like the better you guys do as a business, the more money they will make.
Mm.
And like, for what I can gather from these ad incentives, is that they've got companies saying if you can guarantee that we're going to have X amount of ads on X amount of channels, we'll pay more for our advertising space, or they can charge more for that advertising space, which in turn allows them to make you more money and give you more money for those ads.
Yeah.
But it'll just be a case of it's the same with everything, really, isn't it? There's always teething problems when they release something new like that.
I mean, I don't see necessarily how ads even help on Twitch. Like, no one's on Twitch to see, I don't know, an ad for the Huel thing. You
No,
know what I'm on about? The shaker. It's like Sneak, but it's like milkshake and different
it's
stuff. I don't know.
it's all just money. It just comes down to money. And
I
if
just don't
companies are
see the point of them being ads when no one's there to watch them.
yeah,
And no, like, I can't imagine the click rate for ads is that great. Where you see something on Twitch and you're like, oh, I'll go search that up. I can't imagine it being high, or at least high enough to warrant it being there.
it must be doing something because companies spend millions on it all the time.
Yeah.
That's the only issue.
Like, I can imagine it being semi better on YouTube. I mean, YouTube has more users regardless,
Yeah.
but I can't see it being that great for Twitch
think
and
Twitch
Amazon as a
is-
whole.
I think Twitch is more comes down to not so much the revenue that they make from it at the moment. They're investing in it as being a long-term thing that Twitch will continue to grow as the thing that it is.
I mean, if you think about it, right? If someone, it happens like this, and it happens a lot. If someone gets an ad, they're more likely to just switch off your channel and go watch someone else
Mm.
where there is no ad.
Yeah.
And I think it just furthers my point that I just don't see it being there. If people aren't going to wait through the ad to watch the streamer they've just clicked on, what's the point in the ads being there?
Yeah. It is. That's like my biggest gripe with it. When you want to just pop into someone's stream after a good game of DVD and be like, "Oh, good game, well done. That was a good laugh," and you're like, "Well, I've got to sit here for a minute and wait for this fucking ad to disappear just to say GG," and he's already halfway into the next fucking game by then.
Yeah, exactly. Well, unless you're a killer main.
It is one of the things that I think they really need to have a look at, is giving people more control over how the ads run and what ads play. Like what you said with Huel, nobody realistically is like, there's no audience for that realistically. But if they were doing, say, game ads for ones that are just coming out on someone that is streaming games, that makes more sense than that, or the woman that's like, "Oh, Granny, I just got my job." Like, we don't care. We'd rather see an
that
advert
meme's
on.
been going around so much.
We'd rather see an advert on a, I don't know, COD Modern Warfare 2, the game that is coming out very, very soon, on a gaming platform.
Yeah.
That would make a lot more sense than Indeed or whatever the fuck that advert's for.
I mean,
Get
a
out
lot
my
of
face. I want to see the dinosaurs fucking again.
I mean, arguably, like, and people would argue this with you, Ash, in saying that Twitch is not. It used to be a gaming platform. It still very much is, but it's less and less about gaming these days.
Yeah, I agree with that, but it's still in the sense of, like, for us, we stream games. That is our
It's using
thing.
the
I can see
categories.
where you're going with it.
Yeah, it should be gaming ads for the people that are streaming games. If it's people that are just chatting, sure, play the woman getting a job with a granny or whatever the fuck it is. Like, it needs to be more personalized, and the person who is running the stream needs to have a lot more control over when the ads play. Like, obviously, you
or
know, I've got
necessarily what ads play. I think we
Yeah.
should be able to choose our ads and have more control that way. Because if we're a gaming channel, people will want to see ads for new games that we could potentially be streaming ourselves anyway.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a lot more positive
Yeah.
and would work a lot better for Twitch than just playing whatever ad on set time. Because that's something that I hate about the ads. Because obviously I run them myself because I ran the poll and people were fine with it. Is that they just play on the dot. If we had, like, I don't know, a slider bar that said play it in a few minutes after this game's finished or whatever, I feel like that would be a lot better than it just playing on the dot because that's what it says.
You know, you
Yeah.
can do that.
I can't figure out how to do that.
Well, I'm not surprised. You and technology bad.
It's sort of.
It is,
But
it's
yeah, you can do it.
Yeah.
If that is a thing we can do, it should be made more user friendly for us to be able to find that. 'Cause as you just said, I fucking didn't know where the hell that was. If that is a thing,
Can we have
it's-
things more user friendly for Indominus Ash, please, Twitch?
yeah,
Thank you.
basically.
So basically, Ash, you know your stream manager.
Hang on. Yeah,
Learning with links and that.
Yeah, we're
Do
going
you
with it.
see? Do you see the quick actions to the right?
yeah.
Yeah, it's in there.
This is where Ash goes, why the fuck's it in there?
No,
Or does that make sense? And were you being stupid?
I think I know what he's on about, but I had no idea that's what. I thought that was just to run on top of,
No,
not to control what was going to happen.
So it's on the monetize your stream bit where you can snooze ads for 5 minutes. And then it allows you to give like warning per se, I guess.
I don't see no option to snooze for 5 minutes.
It should be there. Should be at the bottom.
No.
But in your
Links.
ads manager as well, you can
That's fine. I'll find that later on.
Lynx is very
Yeah.
privileged. He's got different buttons.
anyway.
Yeah, I don't have that luxury.
In
unfortunately.
your ads manager where you can set up the whole ads stuff and that, you can set the delays and stuff as well. And if you need to delay it, then you can just press a button basically.
That's the thing.
But
it's
yeah,
like, especially obviously like you guys streaming Dead by Daylight, like killer queues are a fucking nightmare at times. Like,
Yeah, playing the ads during those times would be better rather
Yeah.
than halfway into a match.
But if you click, like, you see where the quick actions are, you click the plus button, you go down to the bottom, and it's at the bottom in green. can
I'll
snooze
find it
ads.
after the podcast because we could be here for hours trying to sort that out.
It's like a blind leading a blind man.
Oh, it's alright because I asked Aaron if he'd help me with something else after this, and that could take hours as well.
Ah, don't worry about it. I'll help you.
He's
I
not
imagine
going
it's
anywhere.
something to do with OBS.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
But
I thought so.
yeah, I can't figure it out. But yeah, I think that's the major thing that Twitch needs to look at with ads specifically is giving people more control over what exactly is playing, when it is playing, and how long it is playing.
That's what I
If
mean.
someone
If they-
came in the other day, the ads that I have never change. It's always the set amount. I need to figure out how frequent and trying to lower them a bit more.
Mm.
But
Don't
someone came in the
worry,
other
I
day,
got
and you
you.
lot took the piss out of me. She was like, she got 9 ads or something. I've not touched the ad thing. I don't know how she got 9. She must have had 9 15-second ads. I don't know what the fuck it was, but that pissed me off.
God
Even
damn it,
more so that
Dominus
Aaron
ads.
and Mason, everyone were like taking the piss out of me because of it. Because I was getting that she had 9 in the first place, and then they were winding me up even more over it. And I was like, nah, this is ridiculous. Should we get 9?
God damn it, Dominus ads.
What Dominus ads? Oh my god.
But that, like, having 9 ads coming in is taking the piss.
That's such a shit number to stop on as well. At least round it off at 10 or something.
Oh,
No,
so
it
you want
shouldn't be
more
going
ads?
more.
It should be
Be
less,
going
mate.
more than like 2 or 3. There's
No,
no
but
reason to have 9.
If you're gonna get 9, at least give him like take one off and finish on 8, or give me 10. Like
No.
don't stop on 9. Don't stop on an odd number. It grinds me. I get really annoyed in my car. My car radio maxes out at 31. Who designed that? It's not 30.
But no,
It's not 32.
I don't even know if she was. I don't think she was over exaggerating because I know her enough that I don't think she would. But for Twitch to do that is a bit of a piss take.
Yeah, definitely. But then hopefully that's from what I can gather, that's been a one-off for you. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever had anyone say anything like that before. No, that's the first time that's ever happened.
It's just a glitch in the matrix. Then we'll put it down to
But
that.
that was a piss take.
Yeah.
But like with Twitch saying like if they are going more towards being a service platform, then the likelihood is that they will look at more things like that and give in more control.
Yeah, that'll be nice to see.
Yeah. No, so it's interesting of like it's very much the more they provide to us, I say us, you guys as streamers, the more tools you have to make money, which in turn allows them to make money. So it just makes sense, really. It just depends on like obviously the use of the tool and the maintenance of the tool and the effectiveness need to match the revenue that it's going to generate, or you just end up digging a bigger hole or having Indominus ads on the loose.
I don't think I'm ever gonna be able to
That's 100% this.
be all right with Twitch doing that. Like that one scenario really pissed me off for the majority of the stream.
I hope you made some decent ad revenue out of that stream.
I've no idea. It's just like obviously I knew who it was, so they
Yeah.
knew me and they weren't too fussed about it. But like what Alan was saying, if I was a new person coming in, how off-putting that is getting 9 ads the second you read that. Like that's a piss take.
Yeah.
They would click off that stream so
They
quick.
would, yeah.
No one's waiting around for 9 ads to figure out if they like the streamer or not. Just no one. Unless you're like Ludwig or someone massive.
Yeah.
Massive.
Massive. No, it's an interesting and exciting time for the fact that because YouTube, although they're not there, I don't believe with their streaming stuff, like they're pulling big names into going into their platform just through big money deals. Like these streamers ain't stupid; they know full well if they go to YouTube, people will follow and go and watch them anyway, and
Yeah.
YouTube will throw stupid money at them to do it. But I still think that at the moment, Twitch is the better platform. But the more YouTube grows and the more pressure they put on Twitch, the more they're gonna have to do to compete, or they are just gonna fade into non-existent.
Well, to be fair, and I've seen quite a bit from Ludwig, because when he made his big move over to YouTube, he kept us all in the loop of how it affected him and his streaming and everything like that.
Mm.
And it was very like he was very what's the word I'm looking for? Transparent about it all. And he said it probably, in terms of the money YouTube paid him, it was
Yeah.
worth it for that. But in terms of streaming and his like viewer retention and his numbers overall,
Mm.
he was very honest in saying that it wasn't worth it. So I can see Ludwig moving back to Twitch after his YouTube contract expires.
That's what I mean. Like I do believe that Twitch is the better platform, and given that like streamers can go and take this payday from YouTube, and it's going to force Twitch to not only treat them better, to try to get them back and get them better deals to get them back, but it just forces them to improve their product. Like
Yeah.
it's like Dead by Daylight at the moment. Like nothing really competes with Dead by Daylight in the 4v1 asymmetrical horror game genre at the moment. So they can get away with being pretty shitty in terms of updates and the amount of bugs in the game and hackers and all the rest of it. If they
Yeah.
were put under any sort of pressure by another game, they would have to vastly improve their game, or people would
Yeah.
stop playing. Like people are stopping playing anyway, but like people would jump immediately to that other game. It happens every time one gets announced. VHS, Home Sweet Home, like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game that'll come out. That's going to put it under pressure.
In a sense, yes.
I don't think the Texas
in another
Chainsaw game will.
It's
Well, it
slightly
depends,
different
really.
because of it being like that 3v2 aspect rather than the 4v1.
I mean, the only one that's ever come close to really putting pressure on Dead by Daylight was Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
And I think with the developers of Friday the 13th behind the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game, I think it will do well. I think it'll give everyone what they miss about Friday the 13th. But then obviously the developers split off because I don't know if you guys have seen, but there's another one coming out from the
The
same developers, the
Killer Clowns
Killer
from Space.
Clowns. Yeah, Killer Clowns from Space.
What
Yeah, I
a title,
saw
by the
a
way.
picture of that.
But that's a asymmetrical game.
Yeah.
I think everyone's kind of jumping on that bandwagon of asymmetrical,
There's a
but I
few of them
don't think
around.
any of them's going to come close to DVD because they've just got too many licenses.
That's
Yeah.
the biggest problem.
That's what's keeping them up.
And they'll continue to get the big licenses, which
Yeah.
will continue to put them out in front regardless. But to be fair, it's everyone's favorite thing to hate the game they love.
Mm.
It's like you see so many people talk shit about Dead by Daylight and how they hate it and it's a dog shit game,
Mm.
but they're
And they
still
got
playing
10K
it.
hours.
But truthfully, how much of that is them hating the game and how much of that is hating the community that's playing the game?
Well, it's a bit of both, but it's the same thing, really. You can hate the community, you can hate the game, but they're still playing it.
The thing I find and the hardest part about it is a lot of survivors, they can completely hate the game based on one match. And Killer Mains do it as
Killers are
well.
the same.
They do it as well.
Thinking
I
of a
think
very
so.
specific name right now, but yes,
Yeah.
killers do it as well.
They do it as well, but I do see it more in survivors. But like killers, I've seen killer memes where they get 4K, 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 4K. They come up against a really good team and they happen to be playing like not quite an A tier killer or an A tier killer. And because they get shat on because they were running a bit of a meme build and playing a killer that's not that good, they then go, this game's broken. And it's like, hold on, you've just won the last 10 games in a row with 4Ks. There's nothing wrong with the game. You had a bad game with a bad killer against good survivors.
Well, here's the thing that strengthens it, and it was funny for me to watch. I think it was last night, which Ash, you came against a certain streamer and his Swift.
Oh yeah, I DC because of a teabag. I was not having that.
Yeah, there were this streamer and his Swift were a Sabo squad, and they were teabagging.
They played
and-
RPD in 3 orc offerings as well.
Well, here's what the funny thing is, right? And this is what strengthens Ryan's point. They were so happy and so laughy and jokey that they made you DC it from teabagging and Sabo Swift and that. They do it again the next game and get absolutely rolled. And
they were shit.
suddenly, oh, this map is dog shit. This game is dog shit.
Yeah.
So it's one of them, like.
But you can have 10 good games in a night, and if your last 2 games are shit, you'll get pissed off, and that's all you'll remember then is those last 2 games.
Well, it's like I said, they were so happy to annoy Ash and make him DC, and then get rolled the next game on the same, like they were
Same
running
map,
same
they didn't
build,
change a
same
thing.
map. They didn't change a thing, and they got absolutely rolled. And
Yeah.
suddenly they swapped build because they weren't having fun anymore.
Yeah.
It's like, come on.
That's the biggest problem, and there is a lot of without naming names, there's a lot of big streamers who have played the game for a very long time and think they are a lot better than what they actually are, and in doing so are then crying about the game being unbalanced. I think the
Yeah.
game is probably as balanced as it's going to get for a very, very long time.
Oh yeah, I don't think they're ever going to get as close. I think the only thing that could possibly change would be Nurse or Blight in terms of balancing, but in terms of the general like game mechanics and everything, it's pretty much spot on what it needs to be.
The core mechanics of a base kit killer to base kit survivors playing solo queue and having a pretty average map. Like there are extremes either end, like your Starstruck, Agitation, Nurse, and down to the other end where you get Swift that are highly organized and all got fucking 15k hours in the game and eat, sleep, sweat, dream of fucking pallet loops and teabagging and flashlight kicking and all the rest of it. Like there's extremes on both ends, but the actual core part of the game, I believe, has got so much closer to what it needs.
Apart from for solo queue. Solo queue is still no better.
The thing with solo queue is I find it's so much more of your teammates being selfish and letting you down, which you
Oh, yeah.
can't do anything about that. Like, you can't balance around Bill deciding to sit in the corner of the map while everyone else dies.
Yeah.
That's the difficult part about it. Like, especially when you've got, like, I love doing the tome challenges, but as soon as tome challenges come out, you full know fucking well exactly what challenge that everyone is doing. Because there'll be someone who needs to blind the killer 10 times and they're trying to do it in a single game. So they're just running around with a flashlight the whole time, dropping
Yeah,
every
and
pallet and blinding every time the killer breaks it.
it just unsettles the balance.
Yeah.
But
I quite like sort of the glyph challenges, but then at the same time, it's sort of like people then spend so much time going out and looking for the glyphs.
yeah.
Because I was talking to someone about it before, and I said the way I thought they could change it would be if the glyph spawned on you at certain intervals through the game. So
Well,
instead
they
of
could
you,
just do it where it didn't spawn until, say, 4 gens are done, or if 2 people died.
well, they had like the green ones, wasn't it, where it didn't spawn until endgame.
Yeah, like I'd see that being a little bit more.
But even one that's sort of like if you complete a gen, the glyph will spawn next to it, and then you stand at the gen and do the glyph. And when that sort of challenge is on, then as a killer, you can then go, hold on a minute, that gen's just popped. I can go over there because they're likely to still be there doing the glyph. And it makes it that bit more interesting where they still have to progress the game in order to do the challenges. I like the way they're heading with things. They're doing a lot of nerfing overpowered perks and bringing underused perks up. But
But then that in turn just makes them overpowered perks.
they have with certain ones, like Off the Record got a bit out of hand.
Off the record, it's still out of hand.
Yeah.
That's the only issue with the whole argument of we want to get rid of the meta.
Yeah.
So we're going to nerf these perks and buff some others because we don't want people feeling like they're relying on them.
Yeah.
But they didn't take into account that all that does is create a new meta.
Yeah.
Because that's, for all the game isn't seen as a like truly competitive thing, the community's made it that way. It is a competitive game in everyone else's eyes, but the devs.
But
So when there's a strong thing in the match or in the game that is above everything else, people are going to run that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like more and more though that they're starting to like they're addressing the whole camping and tunneling thing. And
They are.
I think if they do that and people then stop the camping and tunneling, and then they go, well, now it's no longer viable for them to camp and tunnel. Actually, they do actually need more time to be able to get 12 individual hooks to kill all the survivors and do it technically the way you're supposed to, so to speak. And in which case, then we can look at gen speeds again. But at the moment, with the gen speeds the way they are, if you decide to tunnel one person out of 5 gens, it's game over. Especially if you catch the right person and they don't last long enough in chase.
Yeah.
Even with DS and Off the Record. Like, DS is fuck all at the moment. You get stunned for 3 seconds. By the time they've hit the floor and took 2 steps, you're already back after them.
Yeah.
DS should never have been nerfed. Not like that. I think 5 seconds or whatever it was fine.
5 seconds was actually perfect.
Yeah, it gave them enough time to reach a loop. And if they want to keep it where it's not active at endgame, there's no problem with that. They can't use it just to escape.
Yeah.
It never needs to be 3 seconds. In that time, they get off your shoulder, that's a second. Take a few steps, you turn around, you're on them. That's
Not
enough
to
time for any
mention
killer
that-
to hit them.
Not to mention that it deactivates in endgame anyway.
Yeah. I don't know. I still think it should deactivate in endgame.
Oh,
I'm
definitely.
kind of fine with that, but they should never have changed the stun time.
No.
But they're always going to make like change. I do see DS getting buffed back up to 5 seconds. I don't think they'll keep it at 3, but they're going to make mistakes like that. They did it with the new perk Reassurance, which is already being nerfed because it was too abusable.
What do you think of the nerf, though?
I think it's fine. It's what it needed.
Yeah. I do agree with that.
I think we made our point when we went on to PTB and sort of
Yeah.
abused it ourselves, and like I said, we proved the point. It's too strong.
Like it
It's
is a
too
case
strong and
of
too trolly.
It's too abusable from both sides, really. Mostly because the survivors, if they don't like you or you're not doing enough, they can just keep you there forever on the bloody hook.
And
Yeah.
you have to DC to get out of that match if the killer is also joining in on that, which
Yeah.
is something that the devs never want in their game.
No.
Exactly. But now it's a maximum delay of 90 seconds. So.
Yeah. Which people will still cry about, but at the end of the day, you're not being held hostage. You will
People
die
were
eventually.
crying about the fact that it was going to get nerfed anyway, saying the only people complaining about it are people that are tunneling and camping. That was like the main argument I was seeing. I'm like, if you can't see how abusable that perk is.
Yeah. It's the other thing I liked as well was do you see the change they made to low profile?
Yes.
Yes. I know we had a long fucking talk about that on the last podcast.
Let's not go back to that one, but I do like that idea of it. Like so the way Scott I was watching him talk about it, and he was like, it's the change in the description of the last survivor able to progress the game. So if you're slugged or hooked, you're effectively without other perks. You would be waiting to be picked up or unhooked, so you cannot progress the game yourself. And that should activate for all like last survivor perks. So, for example, you could have Sole Survivor activate if they were the last person not hooked or slugged.
Yeah, I do think Soul Survivor should also be brought up to that standard.
Because it could be quite interesting then of the fact that like you could be like 20% left on a gen, knowing that the person on the ground who's slugged is got adrenaline. You've got that 75% speed boost to the gen to finish it. They can save, but then Soul Survivor is now deactivated, so you lose the buff. But it's giving you that little boost, so to speak. Which, yeah, it'd be quite shitty to deal with as a killer, but how many times are you in that scenario?
But then, with that in retrospect, how many times are Swifts going to abuse that logic? Where there's a gen that's, I don't know, halfway through, they're having a back and forth that they're really struggling with. They'll just have a teammate run at the killer, get downed, force the gen to pop, everyone has adrenaline, everyone's fine. Yep. There will be scenarios like that where they'll abuse it because they can. It's the same as reassurance. We knew it was stupidly broken, we went to prove our point, we abused it, we proved it.
But with that,
if they would do that with gens as well, they're going to do the same thing.
That is still down to the killer.
No, because it's down to the survivors.
No, because if you know they're a Swift, as long as there's two people on their feet, then Soul Survivor wouldn't activate.
It wouldn't, but then you are not progressing the game in any way because you can't down either of them because you don't know which one is the one that maybe has Soul Survivor to finish a gen off.
No, but if there's 4 people still alive in that Swift, you can still hook and kill the 2 other people, leaving those 2 people on their feet. As long as 2 people are on their feet at any one time.
But it still feels very counterintuitive that you feel as a killer that you can't down either of those 2 because it forces that perk to activate. It doesn't feel right. And Swifts would abuse it in that sense. They would just run at the killer knowing they're invincible because if the killer downs them, the gen finishes. And then they get adrenaline and fuck off. It always comes down to the community finding new ways to run things like that or abuse in a way that makes it apparent that it needs a nerf.
Yeah. I don't like the nerf to Awakened Awareness.
Is that the one with the aura reading?
Yeah.
You don't like it, but it needs to be done.
No.
It needs to be done because of one killer.
Because of Nurse. No, they need to look at Nurse and not nerf a perk because Nurse can abuse it.
Well, this is everything we've known for how many months? / years?
Yeah.
Wow. To be fair, ever since Trickster came out.
Even
he brought with him Starstruck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But ever
since he came out.
Even that one is a case of if you make Nurses M1 and M2, so it wouldn't activate the insta down, you instantly remove the power that she would get from that perk. She still
Oh, yeah.
gains a lot of good information from it, but she still then has to land 2 hits to be able to do so. She can't
Which a
use
good
it.
nurse could do easily.
Yeah, but then at that point, like a good nurse who's going to hit 2 blinks, you're sort of fucked anyway.
But then that comes down to nurse needs looking at again.
Yeah, but that would
Because she does kind of ignore everything.
But that would completely nullify the whole brokenness of awakened awareness. Like the 2-second lingered, I think was fine, even with it being buffed by lethal pursuer to have that 4 seconds.
4 seconds of aura reading just after you've hooked someone's a little bit much. Especially at close range. You've seen what I can do with barbecue at launch. Getting a killer that has pressure close range, that'd be too strong.
It's frustrating in the fact though then that it's sort of like it's playing around perks. Like, you know yourself as a huntress, if you hit a shot across the map because of barbecue, every time you hook someone, everyone hides. They adapt to knowing that you have that perk. So at which point, if you're hiding nearby and the killer comes over and slaps you straight away because they've seen you, you go, okay, they probably have awakened awareness. I'm not going to hang around by the hook or near the survivor. And if I'm...
Awakened awareness is a big range.
It's 20 meters, isn't it?
20 meters is half the map on some maps.
I suppose. But like, it's sort of that is the kit. Like, even with Starstruck now, if you know a killer's got Starstruck, you stay out of the terror radius to not get Starstruck. People play around it. All right, sometimes there's fuck all you can do about it. Same as this perk. If a killer picks a person up next to you, but then if you're then aware of the fact that they have that perk, you go, well, I'm not going to give them value while they're carrying this person to the hook and hooking them. I'm going to book it.
I don't know. I don't think the lingered effect is an idea.
I get why they did it, but I think I like that extra 2 seconds of being able to hook someone, turn around, and be able to look to see where they are.
This would be my way of balancing it, is having that it would be so many meters from the hook, but not 20. Because effectively you can have that in barbecue and see everyone that isn't hiding in some way, shape, or form for auras, like distortion or in a locker. That's just way too much information. Floods of Rage on its own after an unhook, getting 3, no matter where they are, is strong enough. I don't think the lingered effect needed to be a thing. I think the perk's fine.
Yeah.
But it's... If they want to keep the lingered, they need to remove the range and nerf that in a way. Or they can keep the range and get rid of the linger.
Well, they could change it to being like
well, they did get rid of the linger.
Yeah. There's not really much point talking about because they've just got rid of the linger and that'll
They
probably
have just got
be
rid
the
of
way
the
that it
linger,
stays.
yeah. But if they were going to add the linger back in, they'd have to remove the range.
Or it'd be interesting if Lethal Pursuer would add the 2 seconds without the linger, if that makes sense. So if your aura was revealed by it, instead of it lingering for 2 seconds, it wouldn't linger, you get the 0 seconds. But if you run Lethal Pursuer, you get the extra 2 seconds that it would then linger.
No, because that would open the doors for Scratch Mirror Myers, Wraith's add-on, Amanda's Letter, all after you stopped whatever prerequisite you needed to then continue having that aura reading. That's a lot of information.
It depends on how you do it.
If you were to give it to that perk, you would give it to the others.
There'd be no point in putting it on Scratch Mirror Myers. I don't see any Scratch Mirror Myers running that. There'd be no point.
No, but I'm just using it as an example.
Running Lethal Pursuer with Myers would mean you could have a look at someone through the wall, stop stalking, and walk around in that 2 seconds, knowing that they're still there.
It wouldn't be a new meta for Myers, but I was using it as an example. It'd be more looked at for Wraith's add-on and Amanda's Letter.
The way you could do it is just put like a 0.1 second linger effect on Awakened Awareness, so then the Lethal Pursuer would add the 2 seconds. In which the 0.1 on its own you wouldn't notice. That would be a way they could do it if they wanted to apply it to the perk.
I still think they'd have to look at the range. because of that one fact. Yeah.
They could drop it to rate all-seeing add-on.
If they dropped it to like 8 meters, or even 10, if they really wanted to push it to 10, I think that would be fine.
No, I
20
think that'd be
meters with some.
underpowered.
Yes and no. You know
10
yourself.
meters, 10
20
meters
meters
isn't
on
a
some
lot.
map. 10 meters is enough. It's enough to look through a floor level on any map.
I wouldn't see the point in that. They wouldn't want necessarily the perk to come out underpowered. They've kind of stopped doing that because it doesn't sell.
No, they tend to go
But you
overpowered
still-
and then bring it back.
You still get the aura reading while you're walking. You still have that. It still has information in it, but you have, as a survivor, that little gap between barbecue's range and that perk's range that you still have safety to a degree.
What's barbecue's 32, isn't it?
24, isn't it?
32.
Is it 32?
Yeah.
I believe so. No, it's
But even,
40 meters.
like-
32 meters or 40 meters, one of them.
What am I
Maybe
thinking
it's-
of as 24?
I am very curious.
40 meters.
Yeah. So even
What's 24?
yeah, so there is like a 20-meter radius that you could be in to protect from the pair of them. Even taking it down to maybe like a 16-meter radius would keep its strength, but gave you a significant 24-meter gap to be able to be in.
That's brought up
Right.
something funny to me, actually. Remember when they said they were going to they took away the blood point bonus
Mhm.
for barbecue, and everyone said they were going to stop running it.
And everyone's still running it.
Everyone's still running it.
I'd never run it for the blood points. Like the
Yeah.
value you get for it just for map pressure alone.
I run it on one killer and for one reason alone, and that has not changed.
Well, yeah, we know that. You like hitting people on different maps with hatchets. We understand.
I don't think the blood points was all that significant for barbecue. It's just a nice
No.
bonus. Most people used it for the aura reading. Anyone saying otherwise is lying.
It's the same with We're Gonna Live Forever. Like, I didn't run that for the blood points either. It was nice.
No,
But
originally it was only ever 4 blood points because it did
Yeah.
fuck all else.
People used it for double blood points more than anything. Outside of that, nobody really used the perk. But barbecue was nearly always used on killers. Double blood points are not. Just a good perk. That's going to annoy me for the rest of the night. That what I'm thinking of for 24 meters.
what, aura based?
Yeah, there's something that's 24 meters. I'm sure of it.
It's a weird one. It's like Hangman's Trick. Like Hangman's Trick needs to be looked at. 6-meter radius around the hook for aura reading. Indominus Ash is loaded up there.
I need to know. It's just gonna bug me for the rest of the day.
Yeah, it is really interesting. I am quite excited for the new patch. I'm glad they sorted the Metal of Man shit out. 'Cause that
Yeah,
was
Metal
just
Man
ridiculous.
being brought back to how it should be is nice.
I'm just excited for Wesker's perks to put on other killers. So
Yeah.
I don't get me wrong, I'm still excited for Wesker because he seems like he's going to be my style of killer, but
I was shocked that they buffed him the way they did.
I don't know. I feel like
he needed buffing.
He
Well,
should have
to be
needed that.
fair, he
didn't-
needed fixing.
like people just sitting on the pallets to stop him vaulting was kind of stupid.
But that's still a thing. Like,
No, they get injured if they're within the pallet.
Yeah,
they just
yeah,
get
yeah.
injured like outright.
yeah, but like the way other people were doing it is using any means necessary, which is still viable.
Yeah, but you're running any means for one killer.
Yeah,
That's
but
like saying like calm spirit for doctor.
No, I love any means, but like I sort of that is that exact statement is he needed fixing. I didn't think he needed buffing.
I do
thing
think
is,
they
with
kind of
fixing him comes buffing.
Well, that was the thing, yeah. Like it like them saying like, oh, this like they're making it so the window like the hits at windows and on pallets will now injure. To me, it should have just been like, yeah, that was a bug. That's how he always should have been. We fixed that. we fixed this, we fixed that. The speed of him moving in between charges, I didn't think was that much of an issue that needed buffing. Like, it's like giving base kit rat's liver to demo.
Hmm.
Which demo probably deserves, to be honest, but there we go.
I don't know. I think demo's strong enough.
I think he is. It'd be a really nice quality of life thing to be able to run other add-ons when, like, you know yourself, like timing your shreds. If you used to running rat's liver, you're used to timing your shreds off using rat's liver, so you'll tend to use it a lot more.
But to be fair, I never ran like rat's liver anyway.
Mm.
To
Yeah,
me, they're not his strongest add-ons. His strongest add-ons are Barb's Glasses and Black Heart.
Which one's the Black Heart again?
Black Heart is hitting someone with a shred 15% recovery.
Yeah. And then the Barb's Glass is the pallet, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think rat's liver was ever his strongest.
And people
add-on.
used it to make shredding easier to land the shred.
It was more used for you know how you've watched me play demo, the baby shreds.
Yeah.
Like you hold it until you've got the timing down to baby shred a shorter distance than over a longer one. Like, sure, holding it for that, I think it was 1 second shorter shred was rat's liver.
No, rat's liver was, if I'm not mistaken, was the movement speed when holding a shred.
Oh yeah. No, God no, that's never been his best. There was one that reduced his shred time.
Yeah, no, that was worthless.
But I still don't really think rat's liver did anything, even with the movement speed.
Can't think how much it was actually.
Plus, to be fair, with Spine Chill gone with its
Volt speed build.
Volt speed, yeah, with the Volt speed build gone, it doesn't matter anymore. Like even more now.
I will not be surprised if they bring out a vaulting perk in the next couple of patches.
They will.
Probably.
I think that was the whole point of taking it away from Spine Chill, was to be able to put it into another perk without it being like 500 million fucking videos of this is the new ultimate Volt speed build, Spine Chill resilience, and insert Volt speed build perk.
I mean, what was Spine Chill at max? Was it 8 or 10%?
6.
Yeah, I think it was 6. It was resilience that was higher.
6 and 9. So you would get a 15% Volt speed increase.
Yeah,
the question
6%.
is, the question is then, if they bring a Volt perk in, how strong does that Volt perk have to be for it to be viable before it becomes busted when running it with resilience?
They have to keep it at 6%, otherwise it will be too busted.
At
Otherwise,
which point,
or they just bring out 9% and remove it off resilience.
I mean, people who would run that anyway, it's obvious people to combat that if it does become meta, which if it does bring Volt speed build back, people will just run the new Wesker perk anyway. If they,
it's just bamboozle and superior anatomy.
Yeah, that's going to be strong.
It's so good on Myers. I love it.
It's a little bit stupid on Myers, but so fun.
Myers needs something like that, though.
Hang on, that gives you more of a lunge, doesn't it?
What?
Superior anatomy? No. That's coup de grace.
It's just Volt.
Yeah, it's literally just Volt.
Don't know why I thought it gave you more of a lunge. I think it's just because we saw Legion fly and I just assumed it was lunge in my head.
Yeah, no.
Oh god, no, on Legion. Having bamboozle and that on Legion. Gee.
Also, I found out what perk I was getting confused with.
Which one?
Nurse's Comms 20, 24, 28. I knew something was 24.
There was a 24 in there somewhere.
Yeah, just
I didn't realize how shit barbecue was at fucking tier 1. It's 60 meters.
oh yeah, it's far. Well, it's discordance at tier 1's only like 60 meters, I think.
If that's on fucking Dead Dog Slough, you just don't see anyone ever. Unless
Or
you hook on
Midwich.
one. Unless you hook on one side of the map and you're looking at the other.
But then at tier 1, you used it for blood points before the nerf came in.
Yep.
No, it's the last few updates from Dead by Daylight to me have been steps in the right direction.
I just like the blood point reduction for the items
Yeah,
or the nodes, should I say?
the nudes.
That makes me hope that I can get at least Prestige 2 out of Wesker with the points I have right now.
Have they mentioned if they're changing BT at all?
BT's going up to
The base
Oh, no.
kit, the base kit's going up to 10% and
Yeah,
10%.
base
Yeah,
kit.
they
Kits-
haven't mentioned BT yet.
They haven't mentioned BT, which
So in
As
which case BT
far as
adds
we know,
another
it's
10%.
unchanged.
So BT adds another 10 seconds.
yes.
So far, until they release something more. Because they could end up addressing that with the patch notes that we'll get on the day.
It'd be interesting to see, because I like the change they made, the 10 seconds and 10% haste.
But then people just run off the record anyway, so BT is really not that significant. 9
That's
times out of
true.
10, if you're in solo queue, someone's running off the record.
No one's going to run BT off the record.
No, I know.
To be fair now, with it being 10 seconds, though, I can see people not running off the record and changing it for something else.
That's what
You're
I
having a
mean.
laugh.
No, I do think there is a big potential for it.
I think they might bring down the time for off the record soon for the endurance effect.
I think they'll bring down the time. I don't think people are going to stop running it, though.
I think they will. I think people run it just so they actually have the time and opportunity to get to somewhere safe. And I think 10 seconds is enough, personally.
Yeah. With the 10% haste as well, yeah. The only issue is getting hooked in a dead zone and the killer body blocking before you get to a loop.
Or survivors. Okay.
Yeah. But like it's the game. Like if you're gonna get hooked in a dead zone, you're kind of fucked.
I definitely want to test adding all the movement speed on again, though, with the new
Yeah.
percentage for haste.
Yeah. With No One Left Behind and
Babysitter.
Guardian.
Dark Theory as well for that extra 2%. Hope.
Yeah.
See them fly across the map in 10 seconds. Easy clap.
It is interesting. And they addressed obviously the amount of pallets on RPD. That was a very satisfying thing to see because even as a survivor main, that shit was dumb.
2 fucking pallets either side of the bloody stairs.
The question will be, will that be the only thing that they change is to take out one
No,
of those 2
they'll-
pallets?
They'll look at the other loops as well.
Or will they take pallets off the other loops but leave those 2 there?
There's no
'Cause
way they leave those 2. That's
that-
like having 2 shat pallets.
No, this is behavior. It would not surprise me the slightest.
They'd remove one. If they
No.
don't, I'm running fucking Blood Favor. Every single killer is having Blood Favor on.
The thing I've noticed more and more is the last 2 maps. So they've done the rework for this, so say that's 2 maps, and the Garden of Joy. So they say the last 3 maps that they've released that have been redone, even down to, I think, was it Haddonfield done before that?
Mm-hmm.
all of them
Yep.
have massive holes in buildings for you to be able to fall down. And I feel like they're just doing it for JRM at this point.
Still waiting for them to rework Swamp.
Yeah.
Swamp's the only one that hasn't been reworked, no?
I don't think Swamp needs reworking.
Bloody does.
Grim Pantry does, but the Pale Rose doesn't.
Nope, both shit.
Grim
I'm very
Pantry's main
biased,
building
though. I'm
is
very
done.
biased. I hate Swamp with a living passion.
They need to
I'm
fix it
alright
in
with it.
terms of, I think, if it looks a lot different to the other maps in terms of graphically now. So it
Oh
could
yeah,
do
I
with the
think
graphical
graphic-wise they
updates.
could have that, but
Let's get it right, Ash. You're okay with it because you're a Huntress main and Huntress thrives on the Swamp.
no, even like playing Trapper or any other killer, I think the map's fine.
Okay,
The
so
only
you've
issue
just
I have
named
with it is
another
like
killer that thrives on Swamp. You've just named both killers that thrive on Swamp.
I think the only issue that Swamp maps have is Grim Pantry's main building is too diverse, and they need to look at the loops for that. And if they really wanted to look into the top of Pale Rose for that loop, I don't think it's that busted though. Then maybe look at that. But I honestly like the loops, the totem placements, everything is quite good. It's one of the maps they got right.
No, I think because like even didn't Macmillan get a rework?
Macmillan did, but a lot of the loops stayed the same.
Yeah, well,
It's only
to be
recently
fair,
they've
like
added the new loops, isn't it?
the Swamp didn't Swamp come in with Hag,
Yeah.
I believe.
Yes.
So it is probably one of the oldest map.
But Swamp was actually
places.
one of
Swamp
the
was
first that got
first
redone.
ones.
Swamp didn't get redone though.
It did.
It did.
Did it?
They used to be
Yeah.
they used to be like twice the size, and they brought the maps in smaller.
I can't remember.
Grim Pantry back when it first came out was disgusting.
This is why hatch spawns are so fucked on that map, because they moved the map inwards but never
I don't
changed the
think
hatch
it's
spawn.
fucked though. I think the hatch spawns are good for that map.
No, that hatch shouldn't spawn on the corner of the fucking map in between
I
two
think it
walls
should.
and a log.
I think it should. It should be hidden. It should use more of the map. I don't like the hatch normally spawns like quite into the map. I'd like the outside use more.
Yeah.
Same with the totem placements.
If that's the case, fine, but do it on all maps, because that needs to be the base of it. Then I would agree
Totem
with that.
placement should be the same. Like those little like tiny L loops you get on like the edge of the map. Totems should spawn in those.
No one checks a Z wall for a totem.
Exactly. Like it would use more of the map, and I think it would be a good thing for DBD.
Yeah.
It's one of the main reasons why I think the map's good for both sides.
Yeah.
Is that the hatch is difficult to find as killer and survivor, so both parties have an equal chance of finding it.
Can we just say?
And the totem placements are all over as well.
Can I just say though, if you get Grim Pantry and your hex is on either one of the permanent totem spawns in the middle of the map on like full fucking display
on the two rocks,
just rip. You're basically playing no hexes at that point.
I think I've only got lucky once with that kind of situation, which was actually recently with my Deathslinger game. Because I was running Devour on that, and the Meg and the Yunjin kept trying to go for my totem, but I kept downing them near it.
It can be hit and miss, to be fair. Like if your hex is in that sort of area and they are adamant that they're going to get your hex, then you can
have a
use
clear
it.
line of sight on it.
You can use it to your advantage, but at the same time, is how much they get done while one or two people harass your totem. And what that totem is. Like, if it's Haunted Grounds, yeah, crack on.
But yeah, going back to Swamp, I think everyone has reactions to maps when they load on, either a survivor or killer. Either they don't like it or they do. I don't think there's any killer or the survivor I've really complained about having Swamp. Unless I've been playing Huntress and I got one of the maps and I wanted the other one.
Only when it seems like Swamp is on rotation and you just play Swamp.
Yeah, that sucks like, when you're getting it all the time.
Come on.
But no, like, I think it's one of the maps that most people like.
What would you say is the most balanced map for both sides?
Macmillan's. Macmillan has always been that.
Yeah, probably Macmillan or
Maybe not the likes of Sheltered Woods. I don't think Sheltered Woods is very balanced. I think that's more killer orientated.
the only
Yeah.
thing balanced about Sheltered Woods is the gen spread. The loops are a bit shit for Sheltered Woods because it's just the outskirts of the map.
Yeah,
and there's like 8 pallets.
Yeah.
there's just a huge dead zone in the middle of the map.
And then there's the split one. I can't remember what its name is.
Azrov's rest in place.
No, that's
I know
here,
which one
then.
you mean. I'm trying to think.
Oh no, Suffocation Pit.
yeah, Suffocation Pit.
Yeah, where it's just absolutely busted and impossible to catch anyone in the middle, and fuck all on either side.
Well, no, Suffocation Pit. The pit bit at the end is usually quite good on loops against some killers.
Yeah, like the
Like,
middle
that can
bit
be
is
a
like
pain
Very
for some
easy
of
to
them.
3-gen though.
yeah,
It is.
It is fairly balanced in that sense of if you're a killer, you could just go, I'm not dealing with the middle bit. This is my side of the map.
Yeah, I'm
keeping
not
this
dealing with the
side
middle
of the
bit, and
map.
I'm not dealing with the main tower. I'm just going to stick at
Yeah.
Shack side with
Yeah.
my 3 gens and just not think about anything else.
Especially
Yeah.
if you hag.
Mhm.
Hag on Suffocation Pit is just disgusting.
But then
you trap one end of the map and you win.
You have got like the opportunity there to sort of fuck with them if you've got the right perks. Like if you've got a circular healing up on the opposite side of the map, it's go in, work on the gen, take a hit, run to the other side of the map, heal while someone else is working on your gen. It's like I was watching a game Scott Jun played where he was like slowly but surely whittling them down to the point where he was like, I think he had like 3 people injured. One person was working on the gen, but he had a bit of a 3 gen. And then he realized that they had Circle of Healing. So they all just fucked off for like 2 minutes, all went and healed up, and then just started doing the gens again. And every time he hit one of them, they would sprint across the map to Circle of Healing and heal up.
It's the one annoying thing you have to deal with.
He was like, great, I've gone from being in a strong position to win the game to I've lost this game because of a perk. Which
I was gonna say Alter Haven could be kind of balanced, but then
some are, some ain't, and
yeah,
it
it's
can
not the same
depend
kind
on
of
the
thing.
killer.
Azarov's is not balanced.
Some rotations are.
Well, it comes to the same. It comes to the same thing as Suffocation Pit.
Yeah,
It's
if you pick one side and you just stick to that side, there's not really a lot of survivors can do. But then you've still got to be on top of it to be able to deal with them.
No, I think all the realms have maps like that. The one-sided, and then they've got some that aren't.
See, for me, and I'd love to see more maps in the realm. Is Dead Dog.
I don't think Dead Dog will get
I don't
another.
think no.
I don't
They'd
think
have to
it will.
release another cowboy-like killer.
Yeah, I don't see him doing that.
It depends on how they do it. They could have like a Western style killer with like a lasso
I
or
could
some
see
shit
them
like
adding
that.
another one, but it won't be anytime soon.
Even like I thought about before of like a headless horseman style killer.
Well, there's the knight that's come in, but
yeah,
I wouldn't even say a headless horseman is cowboy-esque.
No,
so that's
like,
more.
We're going to ignore the cowboy-esque thing. Headless horseman? How is that going to work?
I don't know. I didn't think that far ahead. I've just thought about it being a potential killer. It's a horror
First
character.
of all, you've got the blindness aspect of it. Doesn't have a head.
Might as well play in silence.
Listen.
Second of all, the dude's got a horse. You ain't outrunning that.
Yeah, but that's like it's like a billy, isn't it? It could use his horse to charge like a billy.
Horses.
What's it gonna do? Just normally trot around?
I don't know.
Right, let's go back to the western side.
I haven't thought about that sort of shit, right? The Headless Horseman is quite an interesting character, and if they could bring him into Dead by Daylight, that would be pretty cool.
No.
Wouldn't work. Too many technicalities.
Oh, just because you don't fucking throw hatchets across the fucking room, alright? Leave him alone.
Mate, how are you going to blind a Headless Horseman?
He has a head, but he usually carries it like under his arm.
So you're going to have to aim at his pelvic region to be
can't-
able to blind him.
No, not even there, right? Stop that, run that back. How the fuck do you blind the pyramid head?
He has a head!
He's got it fucking covered! What
But
should you
you
do? Get underneath
aim-
her and shine it up underneath his fucking chin?
But you aim at his head, like all the other killers. You've just given us a killer that doesn't have a
Well,
head.
Oh,
This Pyramid Head still has
aim-
vents.
aim at where his head would be.
Aim at his penis.
You can still blind the Wraith when it's cloaked. You can't see his fucking head, can you?
But he has a head.
He still has a head.
So does the Headless Horseman sometimes. He has like the
You know-
pumpkin head.
If he's headless, I mean, he doesn't have a head.
I didn't
what,
write his lore, okay?
No, but you brought him into this.
No, but he has a pumpkin head. He's just lost his human head.
Can we get a zombie killer that just chases people around, just has like the hand on the floor? Like he just leaves his body behind, leaves the hand, and then you just try and blind the hand
Like
to
the
stop him
thing,
from getting it.
the fucking hand from Adam's family.
Yeah.
What, the thing? Oh, dear.
Yeah, see? Fuck you and your Headless Horseman.
It was
Blur.
your idea.
No, it's a possibility, alright?
No, it's not.
You leave him alone.
Maybe he is a headless horseman, but instead of carrying his arm, he just kicks it around like a football up and down. You got to aim up and down at his head to try and make sure you actually blind him.
Look, that wouldn't be a cool killer. You have a look at that.
No.
No one's getting the fucking pallet blinds
Fuck it,
over them.
just blind the horse.
Oh, he's got base kit fucking Lightborn, alright? Leave him alone.
It's the wrongest killer in the game.
Jimmy, you'd load in as a Swift with 4 flashlights and see as a Headless Horseman, like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Headless horseman and Franklin's just to spite you.
I don't know. I think about a lot of things to do with like what could be killers. Like I had one of
You don't think enough.
no,
You
I
need to
definitely don't.
go a little more in depth
Aaron!
on your choices. What?
Headless horseman, that's where Maurice went.
See? True is happening.
It's not fucking happening.
If they ever bring out the Headless Horseman, I will sit there on my high horse alongside the Headless Horseman. No, but what would I think about? I remember doing one for like a pirate themed chapter with like having like Davy Jones as the killer. And then they released fucking Nemesis and took the tentacle whip that I was gonna have. Well, that'd be quite cool though. Or like a pirate killer that like threw bombs that like would either injure you if they hit you directly or like could like knock you off balance, like the stagger effect. Like the charger from fucking Left 4 Dead when it would hit nearby to you and make you nearly fall over. I'm just gonna stop talking about this now. 'cause it's kind of stupid to me.
I'm still getting over headless horseman. You need to give me some more time. God, where's Kev at? Kev would love this.
Oh, he's probably fucking playing with his Polly Pockets now. No, I'm enjoying the way the DVD is going at the moment. Granted, I know a lot of people are sort of patience wearing thin with it, the way it is at the moment, from playing it a lot and more so the community than the game, I would say.
Yeah, I agree with that. Community's getting really fucking draining.
Mm. But hey, they give us sex, so you know.
I don't really take much notice in the community these days.
That's a lie.
I mean,
I am the
I do and
community.
I don't.
I like to keep up with like the little bits of drama and sit back and watch it unfold and enjoy
You
it.
mean the drama I get myself into?
Oh yeah, I've seen some of the drama you've got yourself in. Pretty
Well,
sure it was
people-
like the day after we followed each other on Twitter. I saw some of that drama that you got yourself into.
Sometimes I just can't let it go. Sometimes I do bite my tongue a lot, to be fair. It's mostly on Twitter though. Twitter people are just
Yeah.
weird.
It's just like, oh, people just can't keep their opinions to themselves. I'm like, I granted everyone's entitled to their opinion, but you don't need to tell everyone about it.
It's just the majority of Twitter is just shit takes. And then that just triggers me. And then sometimes I have to get involved and sometimes I just don't. A lot of the time nowadays I can hold my tongue, but sometimes I can't.
Honestly, me and you back in the day, we'd have made a good fucking pair for ranting online.
I still do rant every now and then. I just
Oh, there you are, getting involved as well. From Another Planet TV. That did really tickle me. The salty boy came into my Twitch stream last night and said, "I don't care, you're a 3 at best," because I told him I wasn't going to fuck them.
Oh no, I love Lil. She's great.
She's brilliant. I do love her. I played a game with her the other night. It was brilliant. She started laughing because I crouched in the exit gate and threw a pebble at her. She had no clue that Nemesis had an add-on to spawn zombies in the exit gate. So I think I picked up a pallet and then slapped it on a zombie. She opened the exit gate and like sort of went to walk out, and the zombie started going towards her. And she was like, "Oh fucking hell!"
I do love Lil. She's a great content creator.
Mm.
It's very rare I ever go against her, but there has been times that I've had some really good games. I think the last time I faced her was with Doctor, and she kept trying to do corner techs on me.
Mm.
How did that work out?
It worked for the first maybe once, twice, and then I didn't fall for it again.
And then she did.
Yeah, no, I let her go. I always like letting people go if I know them. Like Kaylee, I let Kaylee go when I was Huntress the other day.
So I know you obviously you like Samination from your voices. Have you seen his latest Twitter picture? From about 6 hours ago, Trapper Thirst. I'm really excited for his next episode if that's in it.
I don't even need to look at the picture and probably guess what the picture is.
I put it in the message in the group chat.
Not even right.
Here comes the trapper.
But I can see that image, and all I can see is like that little. Can you see like in the background? There's like the little outline of something. I'm just expecting the crapper to come out behind me doing the same thing.
Here comes the crapper.
Yeah,
I did love Samination.
It's the hardest part is with like the DBD community is a lot of the things. Like, there's a lot more toxic communities out there, but it just doesn't excuse the way some people are.
Mate, if I had £1 for every time I've been told to die of cancer, I would never need to stream again.
Oh yeah.
Man, I don't want a fucking planet.
Did you ever? This was from back when I was streaming, but I hadn't streamed for like 2 months. Played a game against a clown, and I didn't even have TTV in my name. I don't know what he done to go and find me, but he went and found me. So he was like having a bit of back and forth communication in the end game chat, to put it politely. And then out of nowhere, he just went, "By the way, you should give up streaming because your streams are shit." And I was just like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, your streams are shit." I was like, "I know, that's why I haven't streamed for 2 months." He was like, "Well then, what do you want from me? You're a shit clown, simple."
To be fair, Ryan, I've seen you at the end of games where you're not happy. You can be just as toxic.
Oh, I know. I try to keep it like I'll have a bit of back and forth, but I'll try and keep it civil at the very least. Like, I won't attack them as a person.
I think I have seen you a few times do that.
Not as a person.
I think in your
attitude, maybe.
defense, most of the time they've had a bit of attitude towards you as well, and then you've gone and done it.
Oh yeah, once they've started with me, then the gloves come off. That's fine.
But you've definitely done it.
Oh yeah. That's a reaction rather than me attacking.
But no, I think a big problem with the toxicity in the game and whatnot is that people don't see it from both perspectives. They just think of
Yeah.
their own point of view,
Yeah.
which, yeah, it sucks if you got tunneled or whatever, and you feel that you shouldn't have been camped, but there's one, maybe 2 gens left. You know for a fact your survivors have, or like your teammates have been working on those gens. There's a good
Oh.
chance the killer also knows that and knows that he needs to get you out, but then at the end of the game when you get tunneled, you still decide to have a go at him for killing you, even though it was the killer's win condition.
That was the thing was so I played a game just playing solo queue the other night, and the rest of my team were going down like sacks of shit. So I took chase on purpose just because I hadn't been hooked yet. So I was like, I'll take the chase, see what happened, like blah de blah. He ended up chasing me for like 3 gens. So we went from being at 4 gens down to being at 1 gen when I finally got hooked. And then like 10 seconds later I get unhooked and he immediately come back tunnel me. They then unhooked me pretty quickly again before he'd even had a chance to go too far away. And he immediately come back after me again. It was a streamer. I said GG after the game, well played, blah blah blah. I went into the stream and had a chat with him, and he was like, "Yeah, sorry for like tunneling you and all the rest." It was like, at the end of the day, you made a mistake. You shouldn't have chased me for as long as you did. But at the same time, as soon as you hooked me and there was 1 gen left, I knew full well that if I got unhooked, you were coming after me because that was your win condition.
But unfortunately, not everyone sees it that way. Obviously, it works both ways. There's winning conditions for the survivors as well. Like,
Yeah,
if they feel that they've got no chance, they're obviously not going to touch gens. They're obviously not going to
yeah,
rescue you when you're on hook because it's either you or them at that point,
yeah.
or both of you in some scenarios. But the community just doesn't see that,
No,
which is
it's
a
all
huge
me,
problem.
me.
Yeah. Which, yeah, at the end of the day, it's you bought the game, you want to win, you want to have fun.
Yeah.
It's I think a lot of people need to sort of take a step back after a game, just to sort of think about, okay, well, why did that happen? Why was I the one that got tunneled, or why did I not get rescued there? Rather than just messaging the person going, oh, you shit at the game, stop playing it, uninstall it, whatever. Because especially from obviously like a Twitch point of view, and I know, sorry for calling you out, Aaron's the same. When you're getting shit thrown at you, even though you're playing to how you need to play, maybe you've had a bad match and your win condition at this point is to take someone out, to have more control over the game, or slug, or whatever it might be. When you're having that back-to-back after hacker games or whatever else, and someone comes into the Twitch chat to have a go at you, it does dampen the mood for the entire stream until someone or a game sort of switches that around. And it isn't good for anyone in that scenario, like the viewers or for yourself. Because I know Aaron had it the other day when he was getting hackers back-to-back, and I know you weren't enjoying that stream.
No, it's incredibly frustrating, and it's more annoying that it's been such a big problem for so long, and behavior barely acknowledge it at best.
Yeah.
One thing I noticed about was so I watched recently Otz's little compilation video, and he came up against a hacker and was just playing a game. And before the game even like the game went to like end game chat, and Otz was like, "Oh yeah, just I'll sort the report out, blah de blah, and all the rest of it," saying like shitty hackers, blah de blah, the usual chit chat after. And a dev was actually in the stream and just went, "No need to report. I've already banned them." And I was like, if he can do it that fast just by sitting in and watching a stream, why don't they have devs go into streams every now and again, even if it is just the fog whisperers to start off with, just to have that threat of, if you're going to target streamers, you're running the risk of a dev being there and going instant ban.
Yeah. But then they still do it, because how easy is it to make another account or change your IP or whatever you need to do to get back in?
No, so there's Uwu who plays with Kev from time to time. He has to play DVD on a GeForce Now because they the way they banned him was like a global lock ban or something. So like even if he changes his IP address, or it was like a system ban, he would have to buy a whole new like PC to be able to create a new account to play DVD on. So he has to circumvent it using like a third party
Mhm.
software to play DVD effectively. Which, if they're capable of doing that, then if they can have the absolute proof of I'm sat in a stream watching this guy hack the game that I'm a developer of, I can do that and initiate that on that piece of hardware. That was what he was saying it was a hardware ban rather than like an IP ban.
Mhm.
Like that would solve the issue somewhat. There would be ways around it. Obviously, there are ways around it, but the pure effort that you're making them go through would reduce the numbers, I would say, significantly.
Mhm.
And at the very least, if it's not reducing the numbers that much, or like it's not really making too much of a difference, it is making it harder and more annoying for them to keep making accounts and keep doing this and keep on going and going and going and doing it, knowing that they can't go and hold a streamer hostage for like an hour because that streamer could have a dev in the chat and go, well, let's just disconnect him from the game and ban his account, and off he goes, and the streamer is no longer held hostage.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that they have to have a dev in every stream at all times. But if they start to pop up in different streams randomly from time to time and catch these people out, all of a sudden it becomes much more of a risk to even do it in the first place and target those streamers.
But
Yeah.
then they just go for the smaller streamers because there's no way the devs could be able to keep up with all of the smaller streamers as well.
That would be the side issue of it.
Mhm. Whereas at least the bigger streamers have more of an audience to sort of back up the
Yeah.
fact that there was a hacker.
But if they are catching the hackers who are targeting the bigger streamers and able to initiate that hardware ban, it does then stop them from being able to use that device to target
Just-
smaller streamers. If that's a possible thing.
It's a good idea, but not one I imagine that will get done.
Probably not. It doesn't even have to be done for long or for mass period though. That's the thing. It's sort of like having police walk around the streets. It's not the fact that they're there constantly that stops crime from happening. It's the fact that they could be there at any time that makes people think twice about doing things.
Mm.
I mean, like you could effectively, you could probably go into like Next and steal something every day for 10 days straight, and you might only get caught once or twice, but you wouldn't do it because you don't know when that once or twice is going to be. You might not get caught at all, but there's that chance.
Also, just for when Kev comes back and reads this, you're a pussy.
Me.
Nah, you'll see.
Mm.
But I suppose there is also the other offhand of they'd need to sort of have the resources and money available to pay people to just sit in chats like that and ban people. Because it would then become an issue of like having a policing crew just for Dead by Daylight.
But they've got a community manager who I imagine has a somewhat community team. Like, it's not even saying that they have to be there ridiculously. Like, they could be in the office getting on with their jobs and just having Otz's stream up on the side. And Otz goes, "We've got a hacker. Brilliant. Let me just stop what I'm doing a minute. Right, I'm here watching." Boom.
Yeah.
Like, it's not someone that, like, you're not saying, like, "Oh, you got to go and sit and watch someone stream for 8 hours." They could be in the fucking office and just have 2 or 3 streams set up close to people to monitor while they get on with their jobs.
Yeah.
And it would just add that sort of deterrent. Like, there is the possible side effect of it going to smaller streamers, but I don't think they get as much of a kick out of holding a smaller streamer hostage as they do a bigger streamer.
I think if you're partnered and you're a Dead by Daylight streamer, then you should have that available to you. But yeah, like it just brings in terms of like they
Well-
can't do all the smaller streamers.
Yeah,
It was like the thing
and they
about
would
like
become
the
targets.
it was like the thing about the DC penalty being turned off for fog whisperers, and everyone was kicking it off about favoritism. It was like that's the whole point of being a fog whisperer.
Exactly.
Like
I
you've
don't- I-
worked, you've worked
so many
hard.
people have thrown their toys out the pram just because fog whisperers had DC penalties turned off. Good. I'm a DBD streamer. Like I care if the fog whisperer, they deserve it. They you know.
Like it's not easy to be a fog whisperer, and you are held to a standard. So like, why shouldn't they get perks and benefits of being a fog whisperer?
Exactly.
Was my argument for it. Like I get,
it's the same as being a Twitch partner. Twitch partners get different things.
but I get the whole thing of like, yeah, but they should just fix the hacking problems. Like, yes, I agree with that, and they have said it's a work in progress. Stopping hackers isn't easy. Every game has hackers. There's only so much you can do before they find something new and they end up getting back at it.
Yeah.
But
I just
at the
don't see
very
why
least-
everyone kicked off at the. I just don't understand why people kicked off.
this was
Because a
thing
lot
that-
of them are sheep following certain people that were pointing it out.
It did really make me laugh, but the person that did point it out and made a big fuss about it, being the fact that they were a former fog whisperer and were removed for their behavior, like.
Are we talking about Dowsy or are we talking
We're
about
not
True?
gonna.
I would just argue the fact, right, in the nicest way possible. Anyone that kicked off about it, if they were in the position of a fog whisperer, would not be saying a fucking word.
No.
I mean, it's not like fog whisperers are going to abuse that power anyway. Let's be honest. Fog whisperers are genuinely good at the game, and if
But
they're
if they
being
were-
held hostage, then they deserve the right to leave.
If they were to abuse that power, they'd
They'd
be
lose
very
it.
obvious to the devs. Like the devs would be like, "Hold on a minute, like nothing happened in that game. Why'd you DC for? Like you can't do that. We'll take the privilege away if you're just gonna DC because you got tunneled
Yeah.
or because you got fucking teabagged at the exit gate." Like that's the thing, is you can't give that to everyone because you can't police whether people are abusing it or not. There are a select amount of fog whisperers who are spread out across the world, so they're not all streaming at the same time. It's
Yeah.
not difficult to police those fog whisperers in terms of their use of that DC penalty. And I would imagine that the DC penalty was removed and they were probably given conditions to only use it if they were recording for content or streaming.
Yeah. I don't know.
Just people throwing the toys out the pram.
Just, yeah. Toddlers. Like the whole DBD community, essentially. But yeah, I personally like the way the DBD is going at the moment. It feels a lot nicer to play. It feels a lot more balanced. Like, granted, I'm a shit killer, but I feel like I can go into a game and have a half decent chance of winning a game and know
Yeah.
that I can look at that game and go, I lost because I did this wrong, I did that wrong, or that chase lasted too long, or
Yeah.
I left my 3-gen that I was protecting, which just ruined my whole game plan. And I can look back and go, I know I made these mistakes because I'm shit killer.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of what I do. Like you've seen me do it in my streams
Yeah.
and stuff. Like I'm very quick to
Yeah.
like blame myself because I just know I've misplayed and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But you know,
That's the thing about like the last couple of updates. It's put killer in a place where it feels like you can't look at a game at the end and go, I had no chance to win that playing well. There's usually parts of that game where you can go, I made a mistake here, I made a mistake there. This chase lasted too long. This survivor outplayed me, so the chase lasted longer than it should have. So I probably should have left and gone after such and such, and so on and so. Like, you can sort of feel like you did have a chance and mistakes were made.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're at about 2 hours now, 2.5 hours, give or take. So I think that's
Nice.
just about all we got time for, since Ash is usually tucked up in bed by this time, but he has issues to sort out anyway.
No, I've not even got work tomorrow. I'm fine.
Oh, party all night, is it?
No, I haven't got enough alcohol for that.
I definitely have. Yeah.
Ash,
So
caveman, club no fix electric.
You like that one?
Oh god.
It did tickle me.
I'm glad. I was really hoping it would make you laugh out loud, but you didn't. I was disappointed.
I was trying to be, I didn't
I
want to
start laughing
derail
myself,
it.
like, I know
I
fine
didn't
well
want to
you're laughing.
derail it.
You can't derail something that's never on the rails. Ash. It's fine. But once again, thank you all for listening, gamers.
We've
will-
not got a streamer for the week. Before
We
you
do
forget.
that still?
Yeah, have you
Yeah,
got one?
last time. I don't have
Anyone?
one. I was just asking. I can look.
Yeah, sure, go for it. Why not? We done the clip
Unless
of the week
Aaron-
last
unless
time
Aaron's
just
got
because we wanted to listen to you caress and rave spell.
Well, we could do a clip of the week if you wanted to.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
could do.
have just made a TikTok for Link, so we could just use that. So go and
Oh.
watch, go and watch Apocalypse, everyone. He's cool and has a nice trim.
Oh, apparently I needed a better trim. Fuck you, Ryan.
Hey, I said you needed a better trim. You may have the best trim on Twitch, but it's not enough to take over the world.
Whatever.
Yeah. So well, I'll send the clip to Kev to include in the video, and yeah, if you want to watch it, feel free to check out.
We're watching it live right now. I'm sure you'll you'll enjoy it. Look how good that play is.
But check out Apocalypse.
Oh,
And
hello.
obviously, Indominus Ash, the two newest members of the Listen Gamer podcast. Don't check out King Crazy because he couldn't be bothered to show up tonight. He was too busy touching grass. And then
Yeah, you're
taking
stuck with us now, so good luck with the rest of your streams.
Pretty
Or your
much.
podcast, rather.
Pretty much. So yeah, leave all the good stuff: the likes, the comments, the rate, the 5 stars. If it doesn't include 5 stars, then please don't leave it. And we'll see you guys next time.
Minus rep tunneled me out.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.